Partly sunny, hazy, humid today. Chance of rain this afternoon. High 95. Partly cloudy, humid tonight with a chance again for rain. Low 75. Wind southwest at 5. 75 for O'Hare. 80 at the lake, my friends.
Okay, there's an example.
Oh, I love this song. At 6:11, The Other Woman. Boy,
There he stepped on it.
He did, and he did what Buzz talked about.
Cut himself off.
He did what Buzz said. He just goes.
Yeah.
And the other thing is where he would just be awful.
Yeah.
Like on those weather beds that you had 11 seconds. You had to play the goddamn thing 8 times an hour. I mean, it should be second nature.
Yeah, and it's really, for people that get into this business, it's one of the things you live for. You live for tight queuing that.
But he would just be done with what he was saying, and it would just
Let it
go
coast.
do 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 do.
But he also rushes through it to get all the weather in there.
Yes, he does.
Without any clue as to what
Let's just let this roll a little bit until we get some buzz with this guy.
Dick Biondi for Tom Rivers, and I'm in love with The Other Woman. We've got a beautiful, beautiful day ahead of us. It's Friday. It's our last day on the air. Our last day to work one of the most talented newsmen we've had the pleasure of working with. Had the pleasure of a beautiful wife last night. Come to think of it, I'd rather work with his wife than I would with him. But nonetheless, you're going to hear his mellifluous voice. His mellifluous? Whatever they call it. So get ready. We'll be with you till 10 o'clock. Hey, do me a favor, would you? Do yourself a favor even more. Put a great big smile on your face, because it's worth it. Today's...
Hold on, let me just stop.
Oh, my God.
I don't know why our phone...
My God, that's a major mark.
I don't know why our phone sound effect went off. But please note that he mentions Buzz, but never says his name.
Right. And he hardly ever mentions the call letters of the station. or the
never.
Call sign of the
Never. And anyway, he's on to another topic now.
Yes.
It's going to be a great day.
Buzz.
Give us this day our daily scandal. WBBM-FM News Time, 6:16. The question this morning is, what happens now to Congressman Dan Crane? B96 weather, a look at traffic, and more music with Dick Biondi for Tom Rivers. After this. Right now, and B96 weather, partly sunny, hazy, and humid today with a chance of rain this afternoon and a high today around 95. Partly cloudy and humid tonight with a chance again for rain, a low near 73.
Now, you talked to him, right?
Sunny,
I think a little
humid
at the
again,
end,
and a
yeah.
chance for more rain, high around 92. Now, the wind's calm, the humidity...
Listen to you,
92%,
Mr. Excitement. Now.
74. It's 6:21, and that's WBBM FM News. I'm Mike Elston.
I've got to take a moment to talk to you, Mike. I want to tell you had such a gorgeous creature with you last night up at Saturday Night Jukebox.
Yes, I'm married to that person.
I know it. I didn't want to say that word because it's a shame that you would take something as pretty as that out of circulation.
Well, it had to be done, you know?
I must, as we said earlier, I must compliment your producer, Tom Willie. Last night, other than myself, I'm the only one that can strangle himself with a hula hoop, but he was magnificent.
Well, wait, what does that mean?
Again, the guy was full of stuff like that.
Out of context, yeah.
Right. What the hell does it mean? Who knows?
It was great because very seldom do you see this kind of participation. I don't know if it happens all the time, but it was great seeing all the people there last night. And, of course, the fact that everybody got their beer free didn't hurt either.
The best I could work out.
6:22 in the morning. I'm Dick Biondi for Tom Rivers, for Mick Brayback, whose father last night really did a lot of dancing. Men at work. It's a mistake. Come on, Chicago. We're going to have a good one. Going to be hot and humid. Try to get away with as little as possible as far as clothing today. And wear a great big smile. What a great song. It's a mistake. Hey, I'll tell you what. Nancy's Pizzas. We're going to be talking about that all morning, and tomorrow night from 6 to 8, we'll be up.
Okay, you get what we're
You
talking
get the
about.
idea. Just awful.
Wear a great big smile.
Just awful. I sat there and just stared at the guy because I had no idea where he was coming from or where he was going.
Obviously overcompensating for not knowing the music because he would say, that's a great song.
And if I can tell you, relatively speaking, that was like a good show for Dick Biondi.
Those are highlights.
Relatively speaking, it was okay.
That's fun.
And that
is a lot of fun.
That is motivation.
The Don and Mike Show.
There you go. Come on, Pete. What time is it, for God's sake?
I don't know, Don.
We're just starting the show.
Hello.
20 minutes after 3 o'clock.
Hello.
It'll be 12:20 on the west side.
You
anytime from anywhere in America. 877-365-3636. They're ready to believe you.
Hope you don't mind if we start with the Soul Patrol today. What the hell?
Oh,
Hi there.
Hi there.
25 miles.
Hello.
Hi there. I got to keep on walking. Okay. Hi, Dynamite. And you, the last time I checked on you.
Yes, me?
Yeah, you were, you're 10% Jewish? What is it?
756.
756.
Hi. It's me, Super Jew.
How's your dead Motown singer?
Arts and Crafts.
Edwin Starr.
Edwin Starr.
Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Sleep Deprivation and all the ships at sea. Delicious Fagolini, Don Geronimo, and Mike O'Mara.
Okay, that's right, Robbie. It's Fagolini, terrific. Well, let's start it. It's the Dick Biondi Show.
Yeah. How you doing, Doc?
And it's a new episode, everybody, on this Monday.
Monday.
102405.
Hi, Don and Mike. Buzz Burbank here.
No, he's not retarded.
The meticulous. What did Dick Biondi say?
Well, he was supposed to say mellifluous.
But mellifluous.
He said mellifluous.
Wear a nice big frown and flip off your neighbor.
Let's talk about Cindy's Pizza.
We had a great time at the Jukebox Saturday night.
This is the Don and Mike Show, everybody. And you can call us from anywhere in America at 877-365-3636. From Canada, from Mexico, or anywhere on the internets where you can't use the 877. Call 800-636-1067. And if you're listening on WJFK in Washington, D.C., our home station, you can call 202-432-1067. That's kind of a special line for you. And on the intranet, we're right there streaming right in your face. We're streaming right in your face.
Enjoy it.
We're streaming all over you. In your ears. All you got to do is go to DonandMikeWebsite.com, click on Listen Live, or go to RadioMat.com, go to WJFK Washington, Spike Radio Las Vegas, The Edge in Pittsburgh. All of those stations will stream you.
Yes, become one of our USs. Open wide.
Be one of our ULs.
UL.
Instead of sluts, they would be listeners.
Yes, urinal listeners.
Be one of our urinal listeners. Got to keep on walking. Jesus. He's our Savior, you know.
Very good.
He died for our sins.
How about our newsman over here? I saw him the other night. He was with such a pretty thing. She was in an enclosure. She was actually confined.
That's her own
like
safety.
Saddam Hussein.
Yes.
At his trial.
Yeah.
Do you think when Jesus died for our sins, he ever considered that this would be one of the sins that he would die for? This show?
Well, now you're talking silly there.
Maybe worth
talking about our Lord. Really.
JC.
You're taking the smile off my face. I'm not wearing it anymore. I'm not wearing my smile.
Hey, Chicago. Wow. Quiet Riot.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a great song.
Hi, everybody, and this is the show.
Yeah.
The show, the Don and Mike Show, and today the Dennis and Tom tapes, and then
I don't like anything to be overhyped, but I hope that the Dennis and Tom tapes live up to what everybody's been saying.
I'm excited.
Hello. How you doing, Don and Mike? Con, why do gluten so heavy?
There you go.
Because it's hot out here.
They will.
yeah, okay.
I've heard that's all I need to hear to know that they're going to bring us joy.
Cool.
And it's Dennis and Tom going to the all-black wedding. And remember, Robert the Mailman has invited them and has said that they are decorated war heroes.
Yes, that's the funniest letter that Robert has ever written.
So we'll hear about that. Indulge me for uno momento here about the weekend. I had a weekend that it was great.
It was you
Amy
recreated the movie Parenthood, right?
Yes. Amy was here with her kids all weekend, which it couldn't have been better. It was very nice. We had Amy on the show Friday, my daughter Amy. It was nice to go home Friday night, and she had cooked dinner, and
wow!
So we had the nice family thing, and just for those of you with more than one kid, my hat's off to you.
Yeah.
I don't know how how the hell you do it. Mike, I now understand why you would play the Crawl on Daddy game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And I wasn't like you. I wasn't like hungover. Mm-hmm. No offense.
Right. No
offense to
none taken.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But at one point, as the weekend dragged on, and I realized, not that it was dragging on, but I just realized that, my daughter, like, hardly ever sleeps.
Yep.
Because with 3 kids, one of them is always awake. One of them is always,
What are the ages again?
4, 3, and 1.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, she is like a Play-Doh fun factory.
Well, I mean, 4, 3, and 1. You're talking. I mean, that's impossible.
Yeah.
I'm buying
like wrangling monkeys.
Yeah.
I'm buying them rubbers for Christmas.
Right.
I'm going to buy
Good idea.
as many as.
Because, I mean, she spent the better part of the last 5 years pregnant.
Just squeezing them out. And the kids could not be more delightful or charming, and I love having them around, and I love the fact that I was getting used to having everything everywhere in the house constantly, the sippy cups, the snacks, the car seats, the diapers, the Cheerios, the Teddy Grahams,
Sure.
the Legos.
Whole house smelling of kid.
Yeah.
We had a good visit. Carrie and I brought our kids over on Saturday, and at one point Don looked at
Sure,
me.
that wasn't too bad.
And you know the face the coyote makes when he looks up and he sees the rock falling?
Yeah.
But it hasn't hit him yet, and he looks back at the camera?
Right.
That's how Don looked.
And yours are how old?
Mine are they're easy. They're just 3 and 4.
I would say that's when it really got to total chaos.
Yeah.
2 4-year-olds, 2 3-year-olds, and a 1-year-old.
And Robert is very strong.
That's it. And it's not. And no, they're all. We saw Rob's kids, and I'm sure Amy's kids. They're wonderful children.
Yeah, they are.
The age alone. It's just simply the age of those children. It had to be a madhouse.
Volume.
It was great, and I had so many great moments with them that I won't bore you with, just because they're personal and you don't listen for real honest crap like that. But at one point on Saturday, I guess it was about noon before we were going out to get whatever supplies we needed before the Spiewak bunch came over. Amy had said to me that, I don't know, Josh was doing something with one of the kids, and one of the kids was watching TV, and the littlest one, Carly, was being fussy, and she had to get cleaned up, and she said, would you just take her, and, if she cries, and we'll deal with it. And I had a wonderful, 90 minutes with this child, because it just kind of rocked her to sleep. And, once you've had a kid, it comes back to you.
Sure.
That you rock about, and she would fight going to sleep and fight going to sleep. It was just very nice that when Amy came downstairs and she was all ready, she said, is everything, because she, I guess, had expected that Carly might turn the room upside down, or that I might do like Jack Black did to Ron Burgundy's dog in Anchorman. That I might just punt her over the edge. But she came downstairs and she was just sawing wood in my arms. And I said, would it bother you if we didn't go out to the store right now? I mean, even if she stays up late tonight, let's let her sleep. I'm loving this. Mm-hmm. So, and I got my wish on that, because she did get up later, later that night. Turned into anyway, I don't know how you people with lots of kids do it. It's incredible. That's all I want to say. It was a great weekend. Very happy with everything that happened. The only thing that caught Amy off guard, or Josh, it was Amy that said to me at one point, Rob was over. Now, keep in mind, when Rob was over early in the day, there's no booze served. Okay, so there was no drunky drunk.
I'm kidding.
What?
I went to Mike. I said, okay. There was no booze.
No, really. In the afternoon, there was not. Now, in the evening, there was. Yeah. Saturday night, the 3 of us got the baby monitor hooked up.
Right.
And said, what the hell?
Let's hit it.
And you got hooked up.
Yeah. So, God, now I forgot what I was going to say. Jesus Christ.
When Rob's kids came over on Sunday, you were talking about
Saturday.
whatever day it was.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I don't know.
You were sharing a beautiful moment, and you said there was one thing that happened.
Yeah, and now I forgot what it was. Well, I'll tell you, one other funny thing is the kids. My oldest granddaughter, Addie, who is 4, she was playing with Julia, who is 4. Mm-hmm. And the deal was that she couldn't remember Julia's name. This is a weird kid thing.
Right.
Couldn't say it.
She couldn't say Julia.
Julia.
She could not pronounce it. So she instead called her Megan. And I'm not really sure exactly how that
that's cute.
How that came out. Just they would be walking around, and all of a sudden it was, "Where's Megan?" And I said, honey, there ain't no Megan here.
Right.
I know there's a lot of kids, but there's no one named Megan. It was funny because she's so cute. Mm-hmm. She could just say Julilia.
Julia.
And it embarrassed her a little bit because she couldn't say it. So she said, "May I call you Megan?" And Julia was fine. Okay.
Because Megan's easy.
Yeah, but Julia won't let me call her Megan. Only Addie can call her Megan.
Right.
And the other your wife, Carrie, brought over lots of arts and crafts.
Yes.
And I've still got, there's like the sticky stuff everywhere and the little stars everywhere.
Stickers, yeah, they love
The
them.
whole house glitters.
Do you know that down on my drum set now, on the snare drum, one of the kids got, your wife brought over those little like tubes of sparkle stuff so that they could write their names.
Uh-huh.
One of the kids had gotten a tube. Well, they all wanted to play the drums. That's a mistake as well.
True.
And your boy, Ricky Jr.
Yeah, little Ricky.
Little Ricky was the absolute. Here's what Robert's the funniest. We're down by the drum set, and all the kids have played the drums. Robert keeps saying, "Uncle Don, can I play the drums?" I said, "Okay, Robert, let's play them together." And I'd play, and he'd play, and he'd say, "No, too loud. I'd say, "Okay, do you just want to play? Okay, play softly." And then he was like Bam Bam Flintstone.
Bam, 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 bam.
So he's telling when they take the drumstick in a stabbing motion.
Yeah.
Like Norman Bates. That's when you got your drum heads.
I'm just going through the house this morning, cleaning up, moving stuff around, and I go down by the drum set because the drumsticks are all over the place. And I notice on the snare drum, they had tried to start to write something with that glitter glue stuff.
And they couldn't do it on the outside of the bass drum. They had to do it on the surface that you hit the drum with.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
No, you know what? It may not have been the big strong one. It may have been one of the other ones.
I think we should have a pool in the show. How long is it when he finds the last remnants of kids in the house?
The last damage.
And I'll say
Friday. They can hide stuff.
I'll say Friday.
Right.
I think because they'll find a goldfish or a Teddy Graham or something.
I do know that when I went up today to
a human hand
to clear out the Aero beds.
Yes. The Aero 94.7 beds.
Hey, those things are freaking great. Because all you do is push a button just like on TV and anyway, a doll's head came out. Apparently a Barbie went home decapitated, as did a truck.
Wow, really?
A truck which was a fire truck, and it looked like someone had chewed off part of the ladder.
Oh, that might very well have been Robert.
He's very strong.
Yeah, he is very strong.
Very strong.
And Julia's very smart.
And if you want to keep the kids busy, do what I do. Fill the Aero bed with helium.
Anyway, it was very nice. And now
I don't want to go to sleep.
Now I'm prepared. Who is that, Dick Biondi?
It was kind of a combination. A little higher than Dick Biondi.
But thank you. Wear a smile today.
But now that we've had the dry run through of bringing all of them out here and getting through security and everything else and getting the car seats figured, now we're ready for the real challenge, which will be Thanksgiving.
Oh, my God.
Which is when Bart will be home and the dogs and we all will be going up to the beach, and we'll all be up there with Big Frida, who wants to have and she's finally moved into the camp.
Already applauding.
The leisure camp?
She's moved into the leisure camp.
That's wonderful.
Where I believe she's allowed.
It's a happening leisure camp, though, right?
I think actually they have like a tetherball stick in the backyard, and what they do is they'll put a rope around her arm or something, and they allow the residents to walk.
It's really the wrong sport, though, to tie somebody to. It's especially when she goes airborne. It's very difficult.
There's no balls.
A lot of broken wrists.
There's no balls. It's just a way to keep them in line as they walk.
Keep them confined.
Right.
Yeah, for like just 10 or 15 minutes a day.
The circles get smaller and then they get bigger again.
Sure. And the lighter weight senior citizens are tied to the tetherball pole, and it's the heavier senior citizens that push them around.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
Slap them, on the flank as they go around.
Now, Big Frida, as a matter of fact, had a big weekend this weekend as well. She finally moved into the place that they'd been dicking her around on for like a year and a half.
Good.
And she wants to have Thanksgiving at her new house this year, and she has no idea what she's getting into.
No,
she has
whatsoever.
no idea what she's getting into.
So it's going to be quite a gang. You're going to have quite a gaggle.
It's going to be fantastic. I told Amy one thing: we're going to have lots of babysitters, and take advantage of that right now. Take advantage of that, you baby machine.
Are they planning for any other ones? Do you know? Have you ever gotten to that with them?
They'd like to have more.
They'd like to have more.
I said, you've got the recipe down.
They sure do.
And I said, just do me a favor. Not in my house. Make those babies in Minnesota if you want.
Yeah, you never know, though. You really can't control that.
Oh, I can control that, Mike.
You'd be surprised.
I control that with the Beth Ann cameras.
There you go.
From when Beth Ann was
and the little PA system, where if something's out.
You too?
Not now.
Break it up.
Not now, please.
I did do one thing to the two of them that I thought was funny, that they eventually thought was funny, because we got baby monitors, right? So when the littlest one, we could all chill out downstairs, and Amy's really nutty about it, like all moms are, about hearing her. So anyway, this was so late. We were watching Saturday Night Live, and we had a couple of drinks because we were actually laughing at something on Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
Catherine Zeta-Jones was on, and although she's just a piece of ass, how many times can she do this skit that she's in Chicago?
Yeah.
Where she got the flapper haircut and she comes out again. So we got into a whole big discussion about Catherine Zeta-Jones and how she's held up and how much surgery she's had. And Amy said, I thought I heard something. I said, no. We turned up the baby monitor. And about 10 minutes later, I went upstairs. I said, I got to go take a squirt. I'll be right back. So it's just Amy and Josh down in my room in the cave. The TV's on. And the baby monitor's on. I go over the baby monitor. Now, Carly's in the room sleeping, right? So I pick it up. It's a wireless one. And I go into the other room, and I turn around and go, are you touching her? Are you touching him? What are you doing down there right now? I can see you. And then I hear from downstairs, and this is where she is it's the true Midwest. She goes, holy cats, what are you doing up there? and I came around from around the corner. I said, I want you to know I'm watching always. I did like the Fockers thing. I'll be watching you. And that's the only thing. She said, okay. I mean, she was laughing, but she said, you gave us a freaking heart attack.
That's great.
The baby monitor is always on, and and at first they couldn't hear that I was saying, are you touching him?
Do you know where Baby Bird came from? From a baby monitor. We were all watching Anaconda at my sister's house when she lived in New Jersey, and I went upstairs, and because it was right after the scary part, and I just got on the baby monitor and said,
okay, Baby Bird, I'm going to get you with the giant anaconda.
That's where, it's nice to see great minds think alike where you use it as a comic device.
Absolutely.
And they finally came around on it. Did they really think they were being watched?
No, they did not. But they were startled because they first thought something was wrong with the baby. Then they realized that it was just stupid me. And they stood, the way they said, they stood around for a second, and finally they figured out, what's he saying? He's saying don't touch each other? You have to leave the room and go out into the hallway. Great. And then I was standing up at the top of the stairs like, here I am.
Use it as a toy.
Joe Idiot.
You just don't have it monitoring babies. It would be boring that way.
That's right. Aren't you glad I'm your father? How about that? How you like those fagitos?
They'll understand. The more time you spend with them, they'll understand.
Those fagolinos, excuse me.
Fagolinis.
Thank you, Mike. Fagolini. That's the one.
Actually, there's several different things. Fagolini, Fagottini.
The one thing that my son-in-law said, he had never heard our show before. He had heard bits and pieces on the internet.
Right.
He said, boy, that Fagolini. He said, you guys get to talk like that all the time?
Sure.
I said,
you should hear.
Are you kidding?
Should have caught us a few years ago.
Oh, and just because he thought Fagolini was funny.
It was out there.
Fagolini. And that's... I think when I was a couple of cups in, at that point. Right. And I believe that I looked at him as like, yeah, that's somebody just came up with on the fly.
Yeah.
Fagolini. You think it's funny, huh? Just made that up.
So right out of here.
Right on the spot. And I did say
the noggin.
I did say to them at one point,
government.
No off switch.
That's right.
When she said something to me like,
always open.
She said something like, did you get the baby wipes, or do you have whatever it was? Did you get the sippy cups clean, or whatever it was? I just looked.
That's a misstatement I made. Not always open. I got to correct it. Always on.
Yeah. I just look at her. I point up to my head and I go,
never open.
No off switch. No off switch. And she said, yeah. I said, kind of like you with babies. No off switch.
Thinking all the time.
But it was just a great weekend.
Well, that's good.
And they'll all be back, for Thanksgiving, so I'll give you the report what happens. And I do know that your mamo was here this weekend.
My sisto.
Yes.
And my brother-in-law,
And they had chillins, didn't they? Or was it just your chillins?
No, they're all grown. So, they have a chillin, but he's playing soccer for Colgate University. And
right. You said that. I'm sorry.
And they were playing my alma mater, so we went over to American University on that beautiful, beautiful day to sit out in the drizzle and watch a soccer game. And I made a mistake when I showed up because I got a little... It's been a long time since I've been back to American University. And I had this, and I'm with Carla, and she's never seen where I went to school. And I said, I suddenly got this kind of alumni pride. It was alumni weekend for one of the classes. I don't know which one.
Handy.
And I went by the school store because we had to park in the parking garage, and the school store was open. And I said, you need a sweatshirt anyway. Let's go and get you a sweatshirt, and I'm going to get a hat.
Did they ask Carla what sorority she was pledging to?
They actually checked her ID. They said, I'm sorry, you can't get in here unless you're 18.
Sure.
And so she waited outside for me when I went in. But I went in, and they have a nice, you know how I love me, the fitted hats.
Yes.
And AU, just AU, because they got one logo that's really crap, and it's the modernized one where they tried to, if they just put American University with big old block letters, it looks great, or the AU, and the AU is like the classic letters. And so I bought this hat, and I didn't realize as I went down there that my sister and her husband are all part of the whole Colgate University alumni parent thing where they travel everywhere. And it was just like, I equated it to when the Boston Red Sox play on the road at one of those crappy towns for baseball where it's all Red Sox fans that show up. It was similar to Colgate University coming up. All the fans were Colgate University, and you see like 20 of the AU students come down smoking cigarettes, and about halfway through the game.
That's your alma mater.
And the only reason they're coming down is because they're probably roommates with one of the players, so that's the only reason they're showing up. So I show up with the hat on, and at one point Kathy leans over and says, "You're not going to wear that when we have the little reception, are you?" I said, well, yeah. I mean, what the hell? I mean,
it's your alma mater.
My alma mater.
Your nephew plays for the other team, right?
We were going to go to a little, not a reception. It was like they were going to eat pizza outside the bus.
Sure.
And, I said, all right, I'll take the hat off. But, I didn't realize that the parents these were intense parents. You would think that when kids get to the college level that it's not nearly as intense, but it was. It was. I had a great time. It was good to see my nephew. And
I think you should have, and
Rob, they didn't ask Carla if she planned to apply when she's a senior.
Stand up for the pride that you have for your great 8-year college, American University.
But see, I couldn't fake it. It's just like what it was. I mean, I wouldn't have seen a 1:00 game when I was at American University.
That's why you're upholding the great tradition.
I saw a lot of 7:30 basketball games. We were just getting up.
About 20 students there, all of them chain smoking.
They were just there. You could tell the AU students because the AU students still have that kind of look. It's a look really that Bart was sporting the other day. The sport coat, the hat. But one guy didn't have it. He had a sport coat on with the long jeans and the sandals on, but the shades. And I said, hey, there I am 20 years ago.
Well, you can tell that there wasn't a lot of AU students there because they're all studying.
That's right. Yes, of course they were.
Did you show Carla your statue?
Yeah, it was right out in front of my dorm. We actually drove by my dorm. And my dorm...
Isn't it really a mummified number 2?
It's actually, that's underneath it. And it's just my head. It's really a bust.
Really?
It's not a statue as much as a bust of me just going, zang. And my dorm where I went to school at American University is right across the street from one of the latest indicted presidents of the university.
Nice.
We have a track record.
That's a fine tradition at Mike's alma mater.
We have a tradition of criminal presidents of the university.
Wasn't there a kid toucher in there somewhere?
There was a kid toucher in there that, right when I was there, that was like the beginning of the kid touchers.
And the embezzler, the guy that stole all the money.
The most recent one, and they're like figuring out. And I read about him over the weekend because it was great. No better time to go back to your alma mater than when it makes the front page of the Washington Post.
That's right.
And they're talking about the severance package they're going to pay this guy.
Yeah.
Which everybody's really happy about. They're actually going to pay the guy money. Pay the guy money to say, I'm guilty and I'm leaving.
Seriously.
Yes.
I know you had a good weekend with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you put her pictures up and everything.
Yeah.
But may I ask you, because I didn't get a chance to when we spoke, how sis?
She was asking for you.
I heard her.
She was in the background. You got a chance. We were talking about, I guess, the JB thing over the weekend, and you had called me, and I said, do you have a minute? And you didn't know what I was going to do, and then in his shyness, you said you were tired, and I know the truth is that you're just not ready yet. You're not ready yet. But you know that the sentiment was there.
I hope you let her know that.
Because you heard in the background when I heard. I took the phone away. I said, Kathy,
I'm just not ready.
Kathy, say hi to Don. And of course the guy was like, Hi, Don.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it was.
Because, you know, someday... Someday.
Well, hey, how long we been
surprise you.
partners, huh?
I'm going to surprise you someday. Someday you're going to like be up at your family's house in Maine.
Right.
You're not even going to know that I flew into the Portland Jetport in the middle of the night.
With a bottle of fine wine.
You're going to come up in your big old, like, Mike's house up in Maine, his family's house, is much like something you would see like in a Stephen King novel. You know what I mean? Those big,
Norman
gigantic
Bates'
things. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I wasn't going to go Norman Bates-ish, but,
Well, it
you know,
is. You know.
big front porch, that very New England-looking place. Mike, you know, and every bedroom is the country bedroom. Mike springs open the door in the morning and says, "Good morning, sis." And I'm laying there.
And there you are in the bed, smoking a cigarette.
Smoking a cigar.
Smoking a big cigar. I'll smell the cigar smoke, and I'll recognize it immediately. What is that? Who's in here? And I'll throw open the doors.
Say, hey, I'm finally banging your sister.
And then I'll say, "But where's Paul?" And I'll hear,
No. And then we'll all jump up and we'll go, "Hey, Mike, we're pulling your way!" And speaking of that,
yes.
Goddamn, if Friday night, now, all day on Friday, we played the tapes from Letterman. Right. Dave, I'm pulling your wang.
Right.
So,
I played that for my brother-in-law, incidentally.
That's one of the things that Amy and Josh asked me about when I got home on Friday. They listened to a little bit of the show. They said, like, "What's that? I'm pulling your wang." And I said, "It's from Letterman." And I showed him on the computer. And I said, "The great thing is, he always throws that on Friday night. So tonight after we get the kids to bed, we'll watch it. And I guarantee you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh at this at the world's oldest page."
Right.
So we're sitting through, you know, and they definitely taped the show on a Thursday because they had, like, World Series jokes, and it was like, know your current events. But it was generic enough that it could have been taped a day in advance. And from the very beginning of the show on Friday night's Letterman, he looked like he did not want to be there.
Yeah. Talk about the new one on Friday night?
Yeah. So the three of us are sitting down there with the baby monitor, and all I've been doing for like 15 minutes before Letterman is saying, you know, okay, what do you see? You know,
well, you had said to me, and I don't know whether you had inside knowledge that this is the regular Friday bit.
Well, it's been on the previous 4 Friday nights in a row. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I'm pulling your wang. So we sit through that dumb, whatever it is, know your current events, or he's in the audience, he's just talking to some, and the commercials, and I'm saying, okay, now really, get ready to laugh, because now it's coming up.
Here it comes.
No. Didn't.
He did some other lame bit.
Didn't do it. Yeah, right. I'm pulling your wang.
Now I watched the TiVoed version with my brother-in-law, and he dug it. He laughed out loud at it.
I wish I would have TiVoed, because I love watching something and not having to watch the commercials. Do you ever catch yourself when you're watching regular TV?
Yes.
And you just say, "Oh, let's fast forward here," and you realize you're on real time.
Push the button, nothing happened.
And one of the great things, and we'll hit our first break, and we won't be terribly late today. That TiVo's great for. This morning on SportsCenter, when I was watching all of the highlights from the games yesterday, some of which I slept through. That's how tired. That's how worn out I was.
Sure.
Like I said, I don't know how my daughter and her husband and anybody else with kids does it. I was freaking tired. I didn't do half the crap they did. So I missed this during the Cowboys game. And I don't know if anybody's talked about this. Late in the Cowboys-Seahawks game yesterday, there was a call that Parcells didn't like.
Okay.
So he's, maybe even threw the red flag, but he's yelling and screaming at the refs. And one of the coaches, as the ref comes over, standing behind him, one of Parcells' coaches, starts screaming at the refs. And you can read his lips saying something like, "He didn't touch the ball." And as soon as the coach says the word ball, hey, Rob, stand up for a second. I'm going to try not to hurt you.
Please.
This is exactly what Parcells does. I'll do it in slow motion because I TiVoed it. He turns around to the coach. Now, it's very close to that time that Buddy Ryan slugged a guy on the sideline.
This is another coach? This is one of Bill Parcells' assistant coaches.
Bill Parcells turns around and goes like this. Goes, boom.
Just like manhandles him out of the way?
And really, and that's the great thing about TiVo, that you can go back, fast forward to frame by frame. You see Parcells turn around, ball up his fist, grab this guy, and then with both hands half slug him and push him back.
Because he was worried the guy was going to get a penalty.
I don't know.
Or he was just melting down because they were losing the game.
Yeah. I had only seen it this morning on SportsCenter and just went back and thought, how come that's not getting more play? I mean, Parcells was out of his freaking mind.
Well, I would have liked to see somebody do that to the retarded Weather Channel meteorologists over the weekend.
Oh, Mike,
I am so mad.
when we come back.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, I saw that. Parcells was arguing a call or something, and the coach was trying to help him out, and he hits him and pushes him out of the way and screams, "I'll take care of it," and then right back into the ref.
Now, tell me something. Did you see it? Did you see it live or on a highlight?
I saw it on primetime.
Did they? Okay. Did they make any comment about Parcells hitting the guy?
Kind of, but they didn't really make enough of it. I, like you, thought there was more there.
Yeah,
it was funny.
I mean, really, Mike, you're going to have to see the tape.
I'd like to see it because I love Parcells. Parcells is one of the last ones now that has the real meltdowns.
And I think that Buddy Ryan thing when he was the coach of the Oilers is maybe the best. And I even remember the guy's name, Kevin Gilbride.
He hit a guy from the other team, right?
No, it was the guy on his team.
Oh, that's right.
He didn't like the way they were calling the plays.
That's right. That's
like Warren Moon threw an interception, whatever happened, they come off the field, and Buddy Ryan just goes, boom! I mean, just a haymaker.
Just smacks him. I loved it.
I was back with Mike and I. Buddy Ryan, when he was a coach, was the greatest source of material for us.
Yeah, I remember. We did a lot of bathroom humor about Buddy Ryan. Because we really pictured Buddy Ryan hours on the bowl.
Sure. Mother,
I finished this article. Could you bring me the other magazine, please?
Mother, where's the playbook?
Mother.
Oh, and
Mother, we need a roll up here.
No, we got a break, but we got to mention that the local football team won by like 100 points yesterday. Wow. Redskins scored over 50 points. And now, once again, as a way of tribute, here is the WJFK Redskins Radio Staff Orchestra.
Listen to the jubilation. Oh, aren't they wonderful?
It was a big victory for the Skins yesterday. Big day. Jack Kent Cook Stadium.
Things that should be pointed out for anybody that...
in Raljon, Maryland.
Anybody that watched 60 Minutes last night, that every member of this orchestra, much like that child that was profiled on 60 Minutes last night, they're all savants.
Was it a retard?
Well,
hold on. Here's the best part.
They can't communicate in any other way but through their music.
That's right.
But uniquely qualified for working at WJFK somehow.
Yeah, let's hear it. How about that Mark Brunell, huh? Should have brought him in on Friday. He would have thrown for 4 touchdowns if he would have come in here on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could have taken full credit for the victory then.
Okay, and then we got the big finish here. And, because they care, don't forget, the Redskins have stores in 12 malls.
Amen.
Sales are going up.
And now that LeVar's back, those jerseys, they don't have to be half price anymore.
Right.
Can I say hi to Sam Huff?
Oh. So Rob calls me from the game yesterday, the Redskins game. I didn't go. Your boy was tired.
Very tired.
Sure. So Rob and Carrie took my tickets. Had a nice time. Rob says, he almost got hit by someone in the parking lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Guess who?
SH?
This is Sam Huff.
Who's on his way to the parking lot, I guess, and there's a turn, Arena Drive onto FedEx Way, where you really should pause because there's a crosswalk. And he paused, but only just a moment.
So you got there real early?
Well,
this is when you were going in?
Yeah, it was like a little after 11. That's what time I normally get there, 2 hours before kickoff. And he came around the corner and he damn near took my leg right off.
Wow.
And he looked at me mean.
Oh, he looked at you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. McGuha.
And Carrie said, he looks familiar. I said, Carrie, that's the greatest linebacker in the history of the NFL. She said, Sam Huff, doesn't he recognize you? I said, not in this context, I'm afraid. No.
That's great.
Hi to Sam and no hard feelings.
I'm pretty sure that you could walk up to Sam with a gigantic, like for hard to read people, like an eye chart with a sign that said, I am Rob Spiewak, and he would talk to you for 10 minutes and say, I didn't catch your name.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I didn't catch your name.
Well,
Jergy.
he played hard.
He did. And
really sorry, I almost hit you. Really sorry, I almost hit you. I'm late. I'm late for a very important date.
Jergy, here, take one of my meds.
Larry, I almost hit Rob.
That's good. That's good. That's good, Rob. Larry Michael, eat fresh. Excellent timing.
And they were happy yesterday.
Sure. Oh, of course
they really were.
Are you kidding me? Go into the bowl, Mike. Go into the bowl. Go into the bowl. Okay. Should have taken the break 5 minutes ago, but,
didn't happen.
WTF. We'll be right back.
This is the Don and Mike Show. WURP Braddock. WURP Braddock. Pittsburgh's new talk radio station is 1550 The Edge. Show.
I don't ask much from you, girl. Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to? Why can't you treat me the way I would be treated by any stranger on the street?
Tell her.
Because I am not one of your fans!
The Don and Mike Show.
Try to understand. Try to understand. Try to understand. They are magic men. Don Geronimo and Mike O'Mara.
It reminds me, this is Ashley Simpson, who was on Saturday Night Live with the acid reflux. I don't know who the musical act was on Saturday Night Live this week. I never watch it, but they sucked. There you go. That's my statement.
That's true.
Whoever it was,
about normal,
unmemorable, and they sucked. Tina Fey, I got a good look at her.
Okay.
Now she's just coming off the baby thing.
Yeah. Right.
Tina Fey, who I think is really hot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Honey, it's called a Stairmaster. Okay. Listen, someone has to say these things.
Not back in shape quickly enough?
And I can.
With the Hollywood standards nowadays,
yes,
Buzz.
I know.
And Tina Fey's talented, and I know she writes all that stuff on the news on Saturday Night Live. She's very funny. She's got the faggy Michael Hughes glasses. Mm-hmm. Oh, Michael Hughes has no comment on her glasses.
Yeah, no comment.
Incidentally, no comment.
Wouldn't be prudent. No comment.
But I was noticing when I looked at Tina Fey, she's still got like the big, I don't want to say she's got a pumpkin face.
But she hasn't lost the baby weight.
A little puffy.
Yeah, she's...
and she was sexy. She was the sexiest thing on that show.
I would now describe...
Along with Molly Shannon.
I would describe her as big-boned. And we've been through this Molly Shannon thing before.
Right.
That when you get past the bit that she would do where she would put her fingers under her armpits and smell them.
Right.
I still think that Molly Shannon has two great things going for her.
See, I got to test my memory banks because it's been so long. I never really looked at it. And that horrible character that she played where she smelled her armpits, didn't she strap them down? If she did, she strapped them down.
Yeah, I saw her in something, and they're just incredible. Mary Gross from the old Saturday Night Live.
Right.
I remember.
She had him too. I mean, and she had a face that would just, stop traffic. Yeah, really.
Not a good way.
She's a doorknob.
Right.
But boy, oh boy, she had him. And who was that blonde? She always played the dumb. Victoria
Jackson.
I loved her. She was stacked too.
She was.
And
she played the little.
Hello. Isn't she a Born Again now? Something like that.
No, I don't think so.
I think Victoria Jackson's gone to the other side.
Isn't that Victoria Principal?
No, Victoria. I'll tell you either way, it's a secret, though.
I seen her on the Biggest Loser, the Victoria Jackson.
That might be it for the Victorias.
Yeah, because I was going to say, you couldn't do Vicki Lawrence.
No, not the Vickies.
Or Vicki Lord Poon
no
from
way.
One Life to Live.
And besides, that's really Erica Slezak.
That's true. So I believe it's a toss-up.
Wow, it is.
There is no Queen of the Victorias.
Well, you're Queen of the Victorias because you were the last Victoria.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't want it.
Queen Victoria.
There you go.
You're king of the
Victorias.
With Queen Victoria, king of the Victorias.
A hollow victory.
Anyway, Tina Fey.
Baby.
Yeah, baby, work on it.
And are you all ready to eat a little crow here now?
Why?
About something that I have been summarily mocked for weeks, months, years.
Yeah?
About my prediction.
What
my prediction that has now
prediction?
come true.
What prediction?
I give you the #1 box office star in the country right now. Oh. There he is, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as predicted by me.
Now, hold on a second.
No.
Stop.
The facts are the facts.
No. How much box office did it do?
It did over 15 million.
What was the
15.4 million.
And what's the great competition it was up against this week?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. I just saw this.
Dwayne Johnson.
I was just glancing at this during the break, and I'm like, hey!
But I'm telling you, I know that was one of our running bets.
The R-rated video game adaptation starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson tallied 15.4.
But still, he ain't a movie star, Mike.
Yeah, but this could lead him to bigger and better things.
Dakota Fanning, who incidentally is bigger breasts than... what's her name from the Today Show? The girl with the big Joker smile.
Ann Curry.
Campbell Brown.
Oh, Campbell Brown.
Campbell Brown. Oh, did you? Anybody see? Hold on, before you talk about Katie Couric.
Hey, it was up against Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. So you have the Dakota Fanning movie, second. Wallace and Gromit, third. Charlize Theron, another movie where a pretty girl has to show she's an actress. Yeah. Hold on a second. Another movie where a pretty girl.
That surprises me. I thought that
troubles you.
Well, it's a lot.
I thought that movie with Charlize Theron might have done better.
Here's the thing.
But, I mean, you're up against The Rock.
Well, the actual bet,
Come on.
I just checked the notes, is that by April 2006, so you have, what does that give you? That gives you 6 more months.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock will
I'm
huge.
there. I'm there. He had a number 1 box office hit. I'm claiming victory. I'm claiming victory, and it might be...
So is Ashton Kutcher.
You know what they've always said about this show? It's not the competition. You know, people still listen to us. Mm-hmm. It's not that our competition is weak. The fact is people still listen to us. It's the same with The Rock.
That's right.
And I stake my claim. There he is, number 1 box office hit. What more do I need to offer you, man?
Number 2, Dakota Fanning movie. Number 3, Wallace and Gromit. Number 4, Charlize Theron. And number 5, Jesus, what is that?
And Dakota Fanning, $6 million away from Dwayne.
Hot.
She's Dwayne Johnson.
She's a girl. I mean, she's really, literally a girl, Mike.
See, now she's
doing pretty good for a little girl.
And he's doing the right thing. He's doing the action-adventure, unbelievable comic book. Then he's going to ease into the comedies like Arnold did.
I would say that Dakota Fanning is more of a major movie star right now than The Rock is.
I didn't ever say that Dakota Fanning and The Rock were in competition, and now I know I have you.
You do
now
not
I
have
know
me.
I have you. You're trying to change the bet.
No, I'm not changing the bet.
The bet was not about Dakota Fanning and her star power, which I believe is significant.
You just brought up the fact.
I think she could be the major child star of our time.
I think now you're trying to
Colonel Quarantine.
Now you're turning it around on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, just because he opened the movie with $15 million, he ain't a movie star. She's a bigger movie star than he is.
This is going to Hollywood will take notice. Now, I don't think there's a possibility that he will have another movie come out before April. I don't think that. I don't think he's made 2.
That's right, because Vin Diesel's got all those good roles that he was going for.
Yeah, you know what? And The Rock and Vin Diesel were right there, and it was Vin Diesel's game to win. It was Vin Diesel's chance to walk all over him and just puff. It turned to dust. It turned to dust as this man, former wrestler, an all-around tough guy.
Hey, Mike, as long as we're talking about Hollywood gossip,
yes,
which it seems we are, and we'll have your horrible scopes coming up in just a moment here on this good-looking Monday. Didn't I read that picture, that famous picture, at least in my mind, famous picture, of Jennifer Aniston, the new one, with Vince Vaughn making out with her, where they said for sure that they're an item. Didn't I read over the weekend somewhere that People Magazine or Us Magazine, whichever one it has, it's a picture of Vince Vaughn going out with Jennifer Aniston's stand-in.
Oh, really?
From the movie that she's in.
Those tabloids.
And when you looked at the picture up
I think
close,
they're doing all sorts of playing with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. I think they credited them with coming out of a restaurant that was an old picture from way back when they met to discuss, like, the movie.
Right.
And I don't know why it is that I still hang with Jennifer Aniston. Well, I mean, 2 real obvious reasons, but beyond that, why I even give a rat's ass.
Her new movie looks phenomenal. Looks very, very good.
Oh, yeah. I wish you would just stick to, the stuff like Along Comes Polly. And
you like the fluffy stuff?
Bruce Almighty.
This is going to really test her chops, though.
Yeah, see, she's like that other chick we were just talking about. Like, what's her name? Who's the one that's got the, hold on. Theron. Yeah, thank you, Rob. Okay, Charlize Theron, you're beautiful. I saw that movie where you dogged yourself up to play the hooker with the bad
monster.
Yeah, that was it. The bad mother. Okay, you did it, honey.
She won the Oscar.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Now, throw on some Maybelline. Make yourself look presentable. Do I have to sit through another movie?
See, that's the thing, though. Once they get the Oscar, they don't have to do that anymore.
That's right.
No, well, keep fixing yourself up. Keep painting yourself up. And on a local note, Michelle Segoyna, the chick from Fox 5's Helicopter. What do they call that? The Foxcopter, the Sky Fox.
That's what it is.
Sky Fox. I believe that over the last couple of weeks, I've commented that her weight it was up and then it was down. Well, the last couple of days, because it's been foggy, she's been out doing actual reporting.
Stand-ups?
And the one that they had today.
A lot of loves.
Just too funny. It was, which works faster over 30 minutes with a big pile of leaves? A rake or a blower? And first off, the camera was like they were shooting her from the feet up.
Right.
Okay. So you definitely, even though she was facing front, you could see wide load. Okay. Honey, you got to do something about that. That angle is not very flattering.
You give her the same advice that you gave Tina Fey?
Yeah. Although this lady needs it worse. This lady from Fox 5 here in D.C. because she's got a much prettier face. She's just got way too much junk in the trunk.
Right.
And you got to have some fun with it. I mean, if you're doing a live shot where it's raking versus blowing, and you're saying, yeah, and you're saying blowing 8,000 times, and as they're going to break, she says, "Well, we'll find out, but something tells me blowing's going to win." It's like, please.
Oh, God, get us a tape of that.
Honey, for God's sakes. But I think she's got the most potential.
Did blowing win at the end?
Didn't stick with it, Mike.
Damn it. I know you're the chronic flipper.
Didn't stick with it.
We'll never know.
But she's a prettier girl. Which is faster, a rake or Michelle with a fork and some ranch dressing? Rob.
Coming up next.
Would you stop it? Would you just freaking stop it?
I love it.
Oh, and about chicks on TV, I know you want to talk about the Weather Channel.
Jesus, I am as pissed as I've ever been at the dumbass Weather Channel.
I almost called you on Saturday because I know you got a place in Fort Myers.
And so does my brother-in-law. That's all we were doing. Not Fort Myers. He's down in Sanibel Island, and we were just sitting there staring at the Weather Channel. And it's your only go-to.
I don't know where Stephanie Abrams was located. If she was
Naples.
In Naples on Saturday.
She's the best, incidentally. The only ray of sunshine on that network.
No, I don't even know. I just know that all she does is wear T-shirts.
Yep, beautiful.
When it's not raining. And on Saturday.
And give good information.
Oh, who cares about that?
I do.
But, Mike, I almost called you on Saturday because she was doing a live shot. It was before the weather had started down in Florida. And she had on a just real clingy.
Kind of a greenish top.
That's it.
Yeah, and she was wearing the cap.
Yeah, and she had the ponytail coming through that spot at the back of the hat.
Moving around a lot. Walking around a lot.
And also likes doing this where she's wearing the tight T-shirt. Let me show you so that she...
Is that the one where she compared like the storm to a hamburger?
Wow. You were watching.
Yeah. You're training me well. I'm 5 inches away from it.
Now, really, don't you want to have a thunderstorm in your pants?
Oh, my goodness.
Every time you see her?
She is the best. She really is. I think she's talented. I think she's going to go places. I really do with a body like that.
High pressure is moving near my sack. Yes. Near my gunny sack.
She was the only thing good on the Weather Channel. She really was. She was the only thing good on the Weather Channel.
Didn't you see Jim Cantori when he had... Hold on. You know those, like, if you've got a kid on a swim team, or even in the Olympics, you know those swim goggles?
Yeah.
In the middle of the storm?
Yeah, Mr. Tough Guy.
That's what he had
Mr. Tough Guy down in Key Largo.
Jim Cantori had those ridiculous eye things on.
Sure. Here is my one bitch about the Weather Channel, and this was all weekend. I mean, we're talking, we're staring at it because, I've got a place down there, so does my brother-in-law, and all we care about. This is what the Weather Channel should know when they're giving information. Yes, the rest of the country watching it as entertainment. So you can hype it up. You can put everybody in their little rain slickers, okay? But people that live on the coast of Florida and people that have people that live down there, or people that want to know what's going on for real, they want to know two things. They want to know, what do they think the strength of the storm is going to be, and what do they think the path is? Mm-hmm. And they dick around with more useless crap, and that's all they do. And it's the same way when local weather forecasters, when they're going to do a forecast.
I'm just going to say, it's the same thing. They don't know.
The forecast, but you know what? And they're afraid to say, they've got the information where they can give an idea of what they think the forecast is going to be. But they don't do that, because it's easier to say, here's what it's doing right now. Well, the people in Cancun already got their ass kicked. I don't want to watch that.
Did you hear about, they've just started this recently, where they called it, I'm not kidding, the cone of uncertainty?
Oh, yeah, the cone of uncertainty. They love that. That's like what's the combination of like all the different precipitations? Wintry. That's the new wintry mix.
The cone of uncertainty.
The cone of uncertainty goes from the Yucatan to Boston.
Yes.
Really. And it's going to cross over Florida.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I agree with you about Cancun. I mean, who cares if Senor Frogs is underwater, for God's sake?
Wasn't there a little lead time?
Have you ever been to Cancun? You gotta go to Senor Frogs.
Senor Frogs?
Senor Frogs.
I don't think Senor Frogs is doing too well, but they love to do that. And what they like to do is, as opposed to really concentrating on giving us an idea of what's going to happen, and we're watching it every 2 hours to see, hey, what's the deal? What is going to happen? Or do you have an idea of what's going to happen? And yes, they have the ballpark. And then the only guy that I really thought was worth anything would be when they go to the mad scientist in the Hurricane Center.
Let's go to Dr. Steve Lyons,
who has been lobotomized and is the absolute most pathetic. And I had faith in this guy with some of the other hurricanes. I'd look at him and I would say, this is my go-to guy. And with the Weather Channel, they do this sequential pre-promoting of what's going to happen. It almost sounds like they're going to go to commercial, and then they trick you. But first, your local on the 8s. Now, if you have DirecTV like I do, your local on the 8s is not a forecast. Your local on the 8s is a map where they just go to different sections of the country. Yes.
May I just interject something?
Yes.
When I'm watching DirecTV and I watch the Weather Channel and it's local on the 8s, I sit through and I just think of all the markets we're not on it. Yeah. you ever play that game? It's like, because it's alphabetical. Atlanta? Nope. Boston? Nope. Chicago? Well, on a POS AM station for a while. Denver? Nope. Dallas? Oh, it used to be the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You got to wait until it gets all the way down by the T's. Tampa. Right. Sacramento. Good. Washington. Oh, and don't forget the B. Baltimore's always there. Yeah. Anyway,
they're really behind you around here.
It's very much it's a wonderful way for me to keep my overinflated ego in charge.
Yes.
When I watch that show,
that'll do it. But
even when I see the smaller markets, like Raleigh, Durham.
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, now I have something else to get pissed off about when I watch the Weather Channel. I'll think about that when I'm watching. I'll think about the markets we're not in. That'll make me even angrier there. But first of all, they now have a set like the Today Show.
I told you that they sit around the freaking table
and they suck. They're such bad broadcasters. They're such junior, lightweight broadcast. They're even lighter, and may I dare say they are even lighter weight than, in many cases, some of the local people.
Oh, yeah. That's fair to say.
You know what?
I mean, they're not network quality.
No.
Right.
Neither is Clay Anderson.
No, you're right about that. Okay, you give me the one name that I can't defend.
Oh, and the guy, when I'm watching Channel 7 on Sunday morning, Good Morning America, they do a 1-hour show on Sunday morning.
The Sunday version.
So there's like 2 5-minute cutaways for local news, which is really like 2 minutes on air.
Right.
The guy at Channel 7, who I guess is dying to be an anchor, so he'll get up on Sunday morning to work this crap shift.
Sure.
It's Stephen Cheetah. Have you seen this guy?
No.
His name sounds like Cheetah, but it's spelled like THISC. He's another one I worry if he uses the men's room or the ladies' room.
Another one.
He's another one.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about your girl, though, because
Stephanie Abrams.
This is the moment, okay? This is finally a moment of clarity out of all this hype and all this crap. And that's what they do. They hype it. It's a hurricane. You don't need to hype it. What you want to do is give people information. They go to Stephanie Abramson, and she says, I know I've heard a couple of people saying 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Now, I really don't think so, because if you had 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts, you wouldn't be able to even stand up. Try driving your car at 100 miles an hour and standing it, and finally someone is downplaying it, even ever so slightly. Right. Somebody's down. And I went, oh, my God. I mean, not only do you have that incredible rack, but Jesus, you're doing this wonderful job. And everybody else was just into the... there was one guy. Can I just say this one thing about the Weather Channel? It might have been the Weather Channel. It might have been one of the networks this morning, because I'm watching it because it came in. I was up at 5:30 watching it this morning.
Wow.
There's this one guy, and I know he was faking it. He was faking that the wind was blowing him over. He was standing up, and I'm looking at the palm trees in back of him. They're just going...
Now, this morning on the Today
Show, the guy was doubled over like the wind was blowing him over, and he's doing the entire broadcast. Well, I'll tell you, Kurt, I'm over here.
Well, that's the best way.
Looking. Meanwhile, the wind's going... And he's going, you can see the wind gusts back here. Dink, like nobody knows you're lying to hype it up.
I did see Al Roker take a fall today.
No, really? I would have paid good money to see.
Wow. He's on some hotel balcony in Florida, and it is just raining, and the wind is awful. And they do they pull back the camera to show that there's a guy, and this has to be the worst job in the world. The stagehand, the guy that was down on the live shoot,
right?
His job was to he was on the floor, and he was holding one of Al Roker's legs.
Oh, dear God.
With both of his arms.
Oh, man, probably breathing like all Al's transformed nachos from the previous evening.
That's a good gig.
They said to Al Roker, how are you doing? And he said, I'm doing okay. If you can pull back, you'll see that Steve, the technician, is actually having to hold me. So they get done with the weather, and then they say, okay, I'll be safe. And he says, okay, Steve, we're okay. And the guy gets up, and as soon as the guy who's holding his leg gets up, Al Roker takes a header.
That's funny.
Wow. But that wasn't as, I don't want to say funny, I want to say troubling. To see Katie Couric, who always likes talking about how she has journalistic integrity and that, you know, she wants to be Barbara Walters and blah, 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 wears glasses even though she doesn't need them.
Right.
Really, she wears glasses that don't have a prescription.
Fashion frames.
Yes. Today, when I tuned into the Today Show, she was outside singing with Bette Midler. Hey, big spender, spend a little time with me. And it was not Bette Midler singing and Katie Couric singing along. It was
both of them.
It was Bette Midler would sing, and then
the duet.
Katie Couric would sing. And I got to remember to get a tape of that and bring it in. Because
it's a little disturbing.
Because, yeah, and Katie Couric's not a bad singer. It's just when you watch her, you know that she just thinks that her S does not stink. And how could you possibly want to be taken seriously as a news... First off, you're on the Today Show.
Right.
You know, that's not serious.
And it was really awkward at the end when they both pulled their shirts up.
Like the Divine Miss Emmy.
Awkward or perfect?
Hey, look at the mares.
One was awkward, one was perfect.
Got a couple of mares. Somebody let the mares out.
Hello, Don and Mike.
Except for those mares.
Hello. Don and Mike show.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi there.
Here's another mare.
Hey. Come on.
What can we do for you?
I have the best quote from our local news as far as weather. They said there's a 50% chance it's going to be colder this year than it was last year.
That's nice. Cover your ass. 50% chance it'll be colder this year.
It's a perfect weather comment. It's a perfect weather comment. Right. It plays into everything that they're about.
Yep.
Hello there, Don and Mike show.
Hello, Don and Mike.
Hi there.
How y'all doing?
We're doing very well, thanks.
One of my favorite Weather Channel guys is Dave Schwartz. He always seems kind of like happily stoned on every broadcast. He's like, you know, oh, it's going to be cool outside today, so kind of stand around out there in New Hampshire and let the wind blow through your hair, you know, kind of guy.
All right, well,
see, everybody hates them.
We'll watch for him.
Everybody hates
weather people,
you know,
sure.
Yes.
When they got you, Mike, it's a captive audience. Because you're thinking about your place down
Well,
there.
the Weather Channel, it's just really the amount of time they spend really forecasting is so minuscule, and it's surrounded by all this other garbage that is absolutely useless.
And your opening argument was that they have the information, they're just refusing to give it.
Absolutely, because if they give it, they're going to be called on it.
Don and Mike show, hello.
Hi, I just wanted to tell Mike, thank God his place is okay.
Thank
God.
Thank God. I don't know whether it's true, but
thank God.
I tried to call down there. No phone lines now.
There we go. What's wrong with our phones? Hello, Don and Mike show.
Don and Mike.
Right.
Radio Messiahs.
Howdy.
B.A., how you doing?
Okay, would you stop it with B.A.?
Oh, no. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I want
to... My brother-in-law's place.
Well, he's a lucky man.
Nobody, he bought it like 25 years ago. That's who it was. But man, that place.
Boy, if that's the case, Rob, I know you've had a hard time getting the money together for a house. I got a good idea for you.
It's a pretty good technique, Rob. And me, you know, mine's inland, so it was just manual.
Are we okay, Buzz? Hi. Are we okay?
Yeah, I think we're fine.
Okay, good.
Just checking.
Just in case they're going crazy with the button up there, which they really shouldn't.
No.
A really good movie with John Travolta to watch is Blowout.
No, it's fantastic.
And of course, Johnny Depp in Blow.
You know, I probably should do that. It would be a lot easier than getting Carrie to do it. Let's go ahead and throw the towel in and be done with it.
Here's your Extreme Makeover Spiewak edition. Ladies and gentlemen, move that bus. Meanwhile, you're just sitting there going, not yet. Put the bus back.
What if it was Carrie had to take care of that guy, Ty Pennington?
Hey, Rob, here's your new hate room. I worked on this one myself. All week long.
Meanwhile, there's Carrie, and it's like all you see is the back of her head.
That's right. Well, because it would be tastefully shot.
That's right. It wouldn't be
hardcore.
It would be softcore all the way.
That's right. Exactly.
And then after he got the house, his hate room would include like a room with some apparatus from the movie Saw.
You keep mentioning that movie. I've never seen Saw, and now I see
Saw
ads.
2's coming out.
I was just going to say, I keep seeing ads now for Saw 2, and I think to myself, Mike keeps telling me I should watch Saw 1.
Yeah, Saw 1 was good. Saw 1 came out at the same time as a bunch of other horror movies.
I got to see Saw.
And you got to see Saw 2.
I don't have to see Saw.
Seesaw 2 might not be as good as Seesaw 1.
There was another scary movie at the same time.
Yeah, exact same time, very kind of similar, and I forgot what the name of that one was.
Don and Mike, last call. Hello. I mean, not forever, just last call for right now.
And not like, last drink.
Hello.
Hank's Look Around Cafe.
Thank God. Don't forget, your car is your credit at O'Mara's. Hello, Don and Mike show.
Hey.
Hi.
What about Alexandra Steele? She's hot.
Oh, right.
Come on.
Give me a break.
She has kind of a basset hound face.
Yeah, and she's hot in the Wives from Goodfellas way.
No, hold on. You know what?
Remember when they have that scene where it's like she goes with all the girls. I know. Lorraine Bracco's in the room, and that's what Alexandra Steele.
She's like almost the Jennifer. If you had enough to drink, she'd pass as a Jennifer Aniston.
Oh my God!
I've talked about her before. I would do Alexandra Steele.
She's got divine eyebrows.
I would do her. I don't care. So what do you? Hold on a second. Thank you for the call.
All right.
So now we're not going to bang chicks based on their eyebrows.
Well, no, but she's not. Aniston?
I think. Well, first off, she was on Friends one time as a goof, like as someone who had the Jennifer Aniston hair.
Okay.
She definitely doesn't have what Jennifer Aniston. She doesn't have the flesh puppies that Jennifer Aniston does.
And I believe that she has troweled it on and painted herself up to the absolute nth degree to make herself look even presentable.
I would do her. I would do Stephanie Abrams first.
I think she's in Palka territory. Wow.
Now, what you're saying in essence is she's a man, and that's just
harsh.
Wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
I really don't want to go that far. It's just that she's not.
I think our talk about Sue Palka. Have you ever? You don't watch the 10 o'clock news very much.
Not
I watch it almost every night. I guarantee she's trying to sex it up.
Right.
Well, good for her.
She's trying to wear like black lacy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sam tries so hard.
Yeah, but
Sam Palka.
Really? Isn't she married? Who's she married to? Isn't she married to a broadcaster?
The guy used to have a radio show a long time ago.
All right.
Right now, they're really at Channel 5. There is no piece of ass. There's no piece of ass working at Channel 5 except Will Thomas. He's
enough for me.
And last night, boy, did he sound awkward when he's reading the slug like, tonight on the 10 o'clock news, another woman is attacked in Fairfax. The Redskins have a big game, and we've got some rain coming. We'll have all of this tonight after baseball.
Let's go to Sue Palka with her lingerie weather.
Yeah.
What teddy is that you're wearing this evening, Sue? How do you like this?
We've kidded Sue Palka. I bet Sue Palka's a good lay. I bet she is.
Yeah, probably.
She probably works hard.
I'm sorry, I can't go along with it.
No, she works hard. I bet, she's one of those girls that has to work harder.
Yeah, Will Thomas is better, though.
Well, Will Thomas is better at that thing that you got to do. That Rob's got to do to get a free house. That your brother-in-law had to do to get his house down in Florida.
Let's look at my 4-day fishnet forecast.
Yeah, I know. Now we can just look at the 5-day Crocs forecast.
Your Bustier Doppler 5 says, look at these. Look at these.
Here's your IUD 5-day forecast.
Takes one hand like this, holds her top, and just go, all right, say this is the low pressure system. This is the high pressure system. They're going to meet right here in Cleavageville. Is there cleavage, though?
With Sue Palka?
I think not.
I don't know.
Hard to
I
tell.
I would bet that Sue Palka.
There's cleavage on that one weather lady.
Which one?
Ira Joe.
Okay, last question. Who has bigger ones? Beth Ann or Sue Palka? Yeah, now I've stopped the room.
Yeah.
Now I've stopped the show.
Well, I mean, Beth Ann was on that whole honesty thing.
Yeah, so do it.
Ira Joe.
No, of Sue Palka or Beth Ann.
Who's bigger?
Yeah, Buzz.
I would say Beth Ann.
Mike?
I'd have to go along with my own instincts and say Palka. Palka by a mile. Beth Ann, you know I'm just kidding you.
No, he's not.
No,
he's not.
He's right.
Jesus.
No, not that it matters.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
That's right.
Doesn't matter at all.
Right.
I think Sue Palka does the weather braless most nights on Channel 5. You just can't tell.
Probably. Well, she wears layers.
So does Will Thomas.
He doesn't wear layers.
Oh.
No,
He
he
wears
wears a crisp dress shirt with nothing on underneath, I hope.
That's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
we got to do a break here because now that we're kitchen sinking. We're just absolutely kitchen sinking. Clay Anderson. Now that man's got some jugs.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got some big ones.
You could probably see underneath them during the hot weather.
Cat food.
When the TV lights are up.
Wait, put a can of cat food under each one.
Did I do a good enough job bitching about the Weather Channel, though? Because I really feel like I didn't give them as hard a time as I wanted to.
You got it off your chest.
Good.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey.
Hey. Call to Channel 5.
Should I get her bra size?
See, they'll never give it to you.
No.
They'll never give it to you.
Okay.
But at least they'll be happy to know that no longer are we comparing Sue Palka to a man. That part of the joke is over.
That's the good
Just
news.
how about this message from the Don and Mike show that she's looking good?
Okay.
You watch her every night. You're the only authority on this.
I watch Channel
And I'll
5.
check her out to see how she's doing.
Next to Will Thomas, she's the sexiest woman at Channel 5.
You're about 45 seconds away to have Morris Jones calling in and telling you his bra size.
Hey, how
I'm
you
a
doing?
34A!
Yeah, he doesn't have any.
No.
Morris Jones?
No, and you've seen him through that skin-tight red turtleneck.
And I keep thinking about him when I watched a little bit of Anchorman over the weekend with Amy and Josh.
Morris Burgundy.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the scene that won you over
Right.
is where, first off, Will Ferrell says he's going to go to the gun show. Mm-hmm. So he has, what's her name, Christina Applegate, come to his office, and he's got his shirt off, and he's lifting the weights. Then he goes out in the hall later, and he's putting his shirt on.
Yeah.
And when he's asking her to go out on a date,
And she agreed.
around for the next 5 minutes,
Probably.
saying, gotta walk it off.
Nothing to see here.
Well, actually, there is a lot to see here, but
It's hysterical. And it was the singular
Isn't that the
moment.
scene?
Yeah, because any guy that would do that in a movie gets credit. For me.
correct. Okay.
Fantastic.
Morris Jones, Sue Palka, we've covered it all. We've got to do this break. What?
Stay tuned for my 4-day Thongcast.
Please, sing.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
Singing announcements.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
Okay, hi, this is Dorm Radio, DORM, broadcasting live from the basement of the Science Building. Great.
The Don and Mike Show.
You can call Don and Mike anytime from anywhere in America. 877-365-3636. They're ready to believe you.
Right.
Goodbye.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Don. Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Munders.
Pinch hitting for Lou Brock. Don and Mike.
This song reminds me of a moment I had with Amy and the kids in the car.
Yeah.
I think, as I mentioned to you before, my grandchildren, they like the hip-hop.
Ah, yes.
So when we were in my car driving around doing stuff, they hated that I was listening to my 70s crap. And we had to find music that they liked. Oh, and as a matter of fact, hey, Joe.
Oh, Joe.
This will be a perfect example of why I've got to watch exactly what it is that I like.
Hello, Joe.
Yes.
Because I don't like things that are new. I like old stuff. Do me a favor. Go to my automobile, please, and eject. I think Kanye West is in number 3.
Okay.
Okay, CD number 3. I like Kanye West.
I do too.
I like some of the crap that's out now. I like the Killers, fine. I like Green Day, fine.
Yes.
Like U2, fine. But really, this Kanye West album, and I shouldn't call it a record. It's a CD, whatever you call it. It's fantastic. But I've mentioned the liberal use of the N-word. And I'm going to play you the cut because we were in the car driving around and it was just playing in the background and it just cycled, although the N-word is all over the Kanye West CD. There's one in particular, and I told you there's been a time when I've pulled up to someone when it was warm enough to have the windows down.
Right.
Same thing. It cycles.
You've got that screaming out of your car.
Yeah, it goes like from track 7 to track 8. I'm already driving the Escalade, so people immediately already think, thug behind the wheel. So then the guy pulls up next. Anyway, I'll play it for you. I was in the car with the kids.
Right.
And I said, hey, you know what? Grandpa has got, and I love being called Grandpa here today.
Sure.
Love it. Although there was one moment of confusion yesterday when one of
It all set the going on machine.
This is my favorite cut on the Kanye West CD. Cut number 2. He samples a Natalie Cole song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard him say, nothing's ever promised tomorrow day. From the shot, like Tim, it's a harder way.
Don't shake your head at me, Rob.
Love like Robert say, before you ask me.
He's got more melody than any rapper. I mean, listen, come on, it's real music. Anyway, so we're driving along, and I say to the grandkids, and to Amy, I said, hey, you know what? Grandpa's got something besides the Beach Boys. Hold on.
Right.
Grandpa's got something. I say, Kanye West. So we put it on, and they're just bobbing their heads, and we're talking, and I'm having to turn the music up and turn the music down.
Right.
We reached the point when we were in traffic, and it was pouring rain, so all the windows are up, and all the kids were talking, and we were at a stoplight, and Amy said, everybody be quiet, one at a time. So I turned it down so we could talk. And as we continued through the stoplight, it was silent in the car, except for the music. And it went from track 7 to track 8, which is this.
Hello, Gone Light.
Oh, no.
Then the children were frightened.
Here's what came up.
That's that crack music, nigga. That real black music, nigga.
And now you pretty much know the whole song.
Yeah.
So that it's
over and over.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's that crack music, nigga.
Right.
That real black music, nigga.
Now, this is the second time. We should stop dancing. This is the second time that this track 8, whatever the hell it is, crack music, probably the name of it,
right,
has gotten me in trouble.
So was that the one that was playing the day you had your window open?
And I had the radio, the CD loud. Because number 7, and that's how effed up I am. I don't even know the names of these songs. I just know.
You just know what you like.
I like 2. I like 3.
Yeah, that's
5.
how I am.
I like 6. So anyway, I know I love number 7.
Well, in the day of like CD players in cars, it's very hard to identify because a lot of people, you grab the CD, you throw it in the machine, and then it's gone, and you just look at the cut.
So anyway, it was playing, and it was low in the background,
right? And
then right as we were in the car, and it was raining, and the windows. Everybody was quiet. He said, I'll turn the music back up.
Hello, Gone Light.
Then the children cried.
No, I'll turn the music back up. Here we go. Grandpa's put some music on. Yeah.
Crack music, nigga.
Yeah.
Black music, nigga.
Oh, I better turn this one off. And that's also the song that was playing the day that I pull up next to the guy on Route 7.
Yeah. And he got a little shake of the head.
You
like,
kill it.
What the hell are you doing?
Let me say Kanye West. I think the guy really is a musical genius. I love his records. They're great. But you gotta put out a white version. You gotta, and I don't mean to tone down what you do. I mean, but put out a version that doesn't have the N-bomb in every other word.
Right.
Because for a white guy like me, and even, as a matter of fact, John Norman got a little bit of that today when I was waiting down. Someone was downstairs in my parking spot, and I was listening to some other Kanye West song, another melodic one that was like, "Oh, I love you so much, yes, I love you. Hey, Ends? What's happening, Ends? You're crazy, Ann. You're my crazy Ann.
Right.
You know, and John gave me a look like...
Did he shake his head, too?
Ruefully.
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 Well, it's it's music. It's all art, and I don't think you can have it watered down.
Hi, John.
I've been caught in that same thing. I like me a little Snoop Dogg every now and again, and be riding down the road and pull up at the stoplight and go, oh, maybe I should turn this down.
Turn that down just a little bit.
Was it Office Space when that happened? When the
yes.
one guy?
Yeah. You know, and for God's sakes, they put enough stickers on already with like parental control or extra. How about just something? How about you put out one album, B for black or A, double A.
Or how about just
African American, and then just one for W, white, or H for honky.
I got a W for, how about WU on those albums?
What?
Windows Up. Because then you'll just get the bass response, which is... which incidentally is the sound in my house every weekend night. I mean, it really... live on a very busy area. So
that says more about your neighborhood, I think.
Well, yes, it does.
Who am I to say? We don't, I think in my neighborhood, I don't want to brag. I believe it's classical music that you hear when the windows are rolled up. You get
a bad look when you're like blasting Andrew Lloyd Webber. Touch me, love me. Say, oh, there he goes again.
Except no, it's like this because it's instead of it's like. If I was a carpenter.
Turn it down. Come on.
Hello there, Don and Mike Show.
Hey, how you doing, Don?
Hey, we're doing great.
They have friendlier versions, radio versions of all the rap music that they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what I want is, I don't want a radio, but Jesus Christ, every song on this album, on this Kanye West album, has got the N-bomb in it. Virtually every one does.
And a lot of the tunes they take and reverse the N-words and a lot of the other stuff. But to Rob, it has melody, Rob.
Okay. It does.
Rob said okay.
That's why I dig it.
Whatever. Rob, melody doesn't consist of a song exclusively. You have rhythm.
There you go.
You have rhythm.
That's
you have chord progressions. If you take a melody, it is not a song totally.
Okay, I agree. Thanks for calling, Cole Porter.
Hey.
Hello there. Don and Mike Show.
Yeah, whoa.
You funny. Whoa. You funny. Hello, Don and Mike Show.
Don and Mike?
Yeah.
Hey, all you got to do is buy the CD without the explicit lyric sticker on it.
Yeah, but here's but can't we compromise? I don't mind F. Okay, I don't mind dirty stuff. Thank you, Rob. It's the N that I'm uncomfortable with.
Yes.
How about just an N-free Kanye West CD? That's all I want.
Why don't you just compromise yourself? How about you take control of it and start dressing like Kip in Napoleon Dynamite?
Hello, Don and Mike Show. You know what? I'm thinking about going to that party this weekend with Shondell's party.
Right.
I'm thinking about going with Buzz because Buzz has arranged for his wife to be shipped out of town this weekend.
Right.
Seriously.
And I said to Buzz, I don't know if I feel comfortable going out to a social function without Frida, and I don't want to put on like my Batman suit again this year. And Buzz said he has a Napoleon Dynamite costume that I might be able to borrow.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He has an extra one, right?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
Hello, Don and Mike Show.
Big time.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
This is Mohammed. How are you?
Hey, Mohammed, how are you?
Good.
May I see your papers, please? How long will you be staying in our country?
I've been here for 11 years so far.
I'm sorry. I've spent a lot of time at the airport in the last couple of weeks, and I'm just very used to
Conscious of that.
Mohammed, I have a question for you. Will you be bringing the mountain to us today, or are we bringing it to you?
I think I'll be bringing it to you. How's that?
Okay.
Hey, Mike, just go tell it. Go tell it on the mountain.
Amen.
Climb every mountain.
Johnny Mountain.
The weather guy?
Yeah, the weather guy. Johnny
Channel 7.
That means I'm king of the mountain.
King of the mountain. You really are, because I swear to God I was just going, that's the guy with the Ted Baxter hair, right?
Johnny Mountain, right.
I'm Johnny Mountain in the Southland.
Now, he's not the traffic guy that says, let's be careful out there.
No.
That's the guy that loves the sound of his own voice.
That's the guy on Channel 4 in Los Angeles.
Let's be careful out there on the 4. Yes, Mohammed.
He's the white-haired male Lisa Baden of Los Angeles.
Exactly.
Hello? Yes, Mohammed.
I just wanted to point out the fact that if you are interested in getting Kanye West CDs and things like that, they do actually sell them where they're censored and they don't drop the F-bomb.
Okay, but listen, like I said to the other guy, I don't have a problem with the F. The F I don't have a problem with.
It's the N-bomb.
F, C, S...
yeah, but those are still the ones you don't want to have your window rolled down,
or have the grandkids.
No, but here's the thing.
Because if you do pull up next to a minivan, you know,
the grandkids are one thing, and I think I can handle the F-bomb. I mean, I can handle that. The problem
even with
is,
that, let's be careful out there.
So artists should put out several versions of each CD.
It would be helpful
you
to me.
You can
Buzz.
choose what you like.
That's right.
At the Los Cienega.
Take you're still doing the traffic guy in Channel 4. Take a hint from Shania Twain when she put that one album out that was like country, and then the other side was like rock and roll, and it had that one cut that was like Indian, that was like a snake charmer music. Yeah, do that.
There you go.
Do that for me.
Something for everyone.
Make me happy.
Tailor it to your needs.
Hello, Don and Mike Show.
Hey, Don.
Yeah.
When you don't listen to Kanye West, I was curious, what other type of rap artist do you like to listen to?
Well, I think Will Smith is super. I can understand all the words, and he's a good rhymer.
Do you like to get jiggy with it?
Oh, do I?
Wiki Wild Wild West.
I like going Big Willie style. Say, we're going to Miami.
Parents just don't understand.
And don't forget Will 2K. Oh, here come the Men in Black. I think we've run through his entire catalog, right?
I freely admit that I do enjoy Will Smith.
Sure.
Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Miami.
I had that one.
Oh, forgive me.
Had it. Hello, Don and Mike Show.
How you doing?
Yeah, hi, we're doing great, thank you.
Being an old fogey as you guys are.
Thank you.
I listened to my 70s stuff also, but my son who plays guitar and plays drums now is really into some stuff that I'm actually starting to like. And one you might want to listen to is System of a Down.
System of a Down.
Neat stuff on there.
I'll tell you why I wouldn't. Sounds to me too much like Rage and the Machine. It just sounds angry to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
Way to keep that mind open.
Angry is good.
You've made a complete decision without having any idea what the music sounds like. That's good. I like that, Mr. Spicoli.
And it's Rage Against the Machine.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Correct?
Mm-hmm. Right. And System of a Down.
And boy, how many months are we away from Metallica?
I feel that Cool Mo D sure has it going on.
I'm a fan of KMD.
Yeah. I go to work like an architect.
Hey, there you go, getting jiggy.
Yeah.
There you go, getting all jiggy with it.
If you get a few beers in me, I may kick it old school, but it's got to be more than 3 and less than 12.
Kick it old school, Rob.
That's right.
All right, thank you, Cole Porter. Thank you, Bobby Short. In Rob's world, Bobby Short is the ideal black man.
Yeah, he's a soul singer.
Not threatening.
Somebody do a Google search on Bobby Short.
That's because I've heard at some points people refer to Rob as a big izzle.
At the meetings, isn't he king with, how would you say?
He's the grand drizzle.
Thank you, Mark.
I fancy myself as one of the finest Snoop talkers in the world.
What is he again?
He is the grand drizzle.
Yes.
Actually, if you were really going to make it letter of the law there, he would be the grand dragizzle.
That's right.
That's what he would be. Amen, Spiewak.
Now I'm laughing.
I knew I was going to see you again. Knew I was going to see you again.
Is that his father?
No, that's Bernie Mac.
Okay.
Wow. Bernie Mac is also all over this Kanye West CD.
Ah.
What, did you find that offensive?
Hey, I have a question. Maybe because I was having an argument with somebody.
I knew I was see you again.
Is it on Gold Digger? Is that his father, or is that the guy that played Ray?
You mean Jamie Foxx?
Is that Jamie Foxx or his father? I've heard both could be true.
Me too. I don't know. I know for the longest time I said that it was Jamie Foxx pretending he's Ray Charles, and then somebody said to me it's really Ray Charles.
Right.
So, who the hell knows? Hello, Don and Mike Show.
Yeah, I just want to tell that old part that he's retarded for liking System of a Down.
System of a Down? You're not down with System of a Down?
No, they're terrible.
I tell you what, though, I feel
that settles it then.
The room temperature in here. I mean, our hypness factor has just gone up incredibly in this last break.
Well, you think so?
I think so.
I think we sound like a couple of old fertizzles. Or Old Fizzles.
And it's not
the Old Fizzles doesn't work.
No.
And it's not Jamie Foxx. It's JB from Fox.
JB.
Indeed.
Right. A sports kizzler.
Oh, and here's the tape of JB from Fox NFL Sunday saying hi to us.
I knew I was gonna see you again.
No, I'm kidding. Here's the tape of JB from Fox NFL Sunday.
Hello, Don, Mike.
So many tapes, so much confusion.
That's not it either. We'll be right back.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
Pieces and analyzed. Pathologists found it to contain some very bizarre things.
A dermoid is an unusual type of tumor. It can contain any type of human tissue. And in fact, this patient had both hair and teeth in portions of this massive tumor.
Michael Hughes, general manager.
Radio at the lowest price possible, consistent with quality. The Don and Mike Show.
Let's hear it for Hughes.
That's his new sound effect.
Great leader.
Riding his tricycle around his office.
Great manager. And really a ballsy guy.
Why don't you ask me about him?
How is he, Mike? Do you like Michael Hughes?
No comment.
You know. Okay. Let's move on.
Yes.
Let's move on.
He'll be here tomorrow, right?
Yeah, he will.
Oh, good.
The Kanye West song, Gold Digger, it's Jamie Foxx. It's Jamie Foxx. It's not Ray Charles.
It is Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
Okay, now I know.
Also, kudos to Beth Ann. I don't know if it was this break or last break. Because, you know, there's been this ongoing thing about her going braless. She brought it up. And as Mike or one of the guys walked out of the studio, I heard her say, "Hello, little D."
Yeah, she said
that to me.
And to me.
And to Buzz.
So there you go.
What I do.
And I said, you got it.
That's Beth Ann fighting back.
But she also gave me The Rock's filmography. And ladies and gentlemen, in the next year, look for the movies Gridiron Gang.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Southland Tales. Spy Hunter, Ride Along, Blowback.
You know what? Sounds like $500 million worth of business to me.
But here's the one, okay? Johnny Bravo.
That's going to put him over the top.
And Instant Karma, which I've always known who has Instant Karma.
Johnny Bravo.
My man.
That wouldn't be the Greg Brady story, would it?
I'm not sure. It's Dwayne Johnson. Who and really during this is another prediction I'm going to add on to my already established prediction that he will drop this rock business and Dwayne Johnson will be.
Can you smell what Dwayne Johnson's cooking?
I hope in all those movies he does the thing with his eyebrow because that's.
He's a good Fagolini though in that awful John Travolta Be Cool movie.
The sequel to
Get Shorty.
Yeah.
He's
where he played Elliot Wilhelm.
Okay, I know you've got the IMDb thing there.
Not to be confused with the Rundown where he was.
Again,
simply Beck.
Michael Hughes, how you doing? No comment.
Riding around in his tricycle.
You know, and here's the thing with this guy. All right, I'll bring it up. What the hell? This guy and I have been through this before. You remember for a long time? Actually, I think I maybe devoted an hour of this to the show one day.
You guys had
Is
a talk.
Michael Hughes an idiot or a coward? Finally found out he's a coward. You know, at least about the topic that he and I had been discussing. You know, I don't know why the guy is still so freaking afraid, not only of me and Mike, but of anything to do with anything around this radio station. I'm looking at InsideRadio.com, which is, again, where I have to learn what's happening in my own station.
That's how we know.
First of all, there's a giant article in the Washington Post today that says the sports junkies are going to do the morning show here at our station in D.C.
We kind of knew that.
Yeah, it's like the worst-kept secret in the world.
Right.
So, you know, good for them. They got a nice big write-up in the newspaper, nice picture. There's been nothing officially said to anybody on the staff about this, right?
No, that's where we have a little issue. We'd like to know what the hell's going on.
Now, there's an article in the newspaper, and it says right here on Inside Radio, the Junkies will replace Howard Stern on Infinity's WJFK FM Washington. Well, I'm cool with that because they have a show that's compatible with ours. However, the other junk that they're talking about putting around is like political stuff, which to me is just garbage.
It doesn't make sense.
Not going to help.
So I read the newspaper today with the article, and I see the stuff online, and I said to Beth Ann, Well, that's good, because for a while I had thought that it was going to be like David Lee Roth or something piped in from New York.
It's good that they've made a decision and that they've moved forward.
Yeah. So that's fantastic. Call Hughes and see what he's got to say.
Right.
So now keep in mind
this is really how you run a radio station.
Mm-hmm. It's in the newspaper today, and it's not like a little throwaway item. It's a big article about the sports junkies, and it's got their picture, and it says they're going to do the morning show. Mm-hmm. So Beth Ann calls up Hughes at my request because, I've been kept in the dark about this. I had thought the junkies had the gig, but frankly, he's such a pussy. I mean, if they told him to run David Lee Roth, he'd run David Lee Roth, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm already concerned that the lineup around us, we are going to be an island on this station. Mm-hmm. And thank God the junkies are going to be on in the morning because...
at least the two anchors will still be here. That is a good thing.
They're adding political talk at night, and we've got political talk during the day, which cannot suck enough on this station. I mean, it's like they're driving the listeners away. So I said to Beth Ann, call Hughes and find out if that's the deal. Mm-hmm. So she calls up Hughes, and she says, what's the deal? Junkies in the morning? And he said, no comment. So now keep in mind. Oh, hold on.
I can't begin to understand his motivation, Don.
Tom?
Yes?
Hold on, I'll get right back to you. We'll play your tapes, I promise.
Hang on.
Hold on a second, Tom. So then I said to Beth Ann, you know what you should do? Go ask the program director. Now, I know that's... Christ, he's a puppet, okay? But still. So she goes up to his office and says, hey, what's it? And he says, no comment. Now, come on. And again,
if they are trying to piss us off, they are doing an extraordinary job.
I don't know when
by not communicating
mission
with us.
Accomplished.
We are, despite what you think about us, and now we're talking to management, we were on the team. Just like we were on the team in New York, just like we used to be on the team here at this radio station. It's nice to know that you are going away from what I thought you were going to be doing in the morning, which would be a piped-in morning show from New York.
That's a good thing.
Which would drive away listeners. But, on the day when there's an article in the newspaper, how about just letting us know that at least part of the plan has been put together?
It really is ridiculous. And if it hasn't been put together... let us know that, too. And once again, to management, I got news for you. You might be afraid to talk to us, but if you say, we are doing such and such, we're doing such and such, please do not say anything. We, in 20 years, when that has been said, when that's been directed by management, that this is a business issue, we don't want you to say anything, we do it. Because we are professional enough to do that. If they're unaware of that, and who knows what they're aware of or what they're not aware of. They should know that now. But I am beginning to seriously question what their rhyme and reason is around. I have no idea.
Are you doing like a satellite radio thing? I said seriously.
Seriously.
Oh, that's the other big rumor, is that a bunch of stations are taking Howard off tomorrow. A bunch of Infinity stations will be canceling him tomorrow. Now, keep in mind, this is how my paranoid mind works. Remember, it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, or maybe it was only 2 weeks ago. Remember when Hughes came to me and said, you've been through an awful lot with Frida passing and everything. Mm-hmm. Maybe it'd be good if you took some time off if you needed to. And I said to him, I'm fine.
And that's when we got totally paranoid.
And he said specifically, how about, and now we're up on the dates.
Yeah.
He wanted me to take off this Friday,
the 28th,
and also Monday, the 31st, and come back to work on Tuesday, November 1st.
Right.
Now, if they're going to blow Stern out and put the junkies on in the morning, wouldn't it be nice to just let us know so that at least we can support the move? Do you understand where we're coming from? We're not complaining because we don't have the job. We're not complaining because of the choice of the hosts. We're just saying, how about, Jesus Christ, really, what it's going to end up being. And
I hope this is getting, more than ever, I hope this is getting back to them.
I hope the junkies know what they're walking into. That unless they get some support from the station, there's going to be 2 shows on this radio station that have a chance of getting any ratings. And the rest of the station, you might as well sign it off. Mm-hmm. Really.
They've screwed weekends for forever.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's moved into the rest of the day parts on this station.
Anyway,
as they placate whoever they're trying to placate. It's really ridiculous.
It's all about New York. And I don't know whose weedy reason they're pissed at us and they're afraid to tell us anything that's going on.
Yeah, and all the crap they've said to you, regarding this show. I mean, if they're not lying, and I really have no reason to believe they are, because they have basically told you what the revenue situation is for this radio show. What the hell are they up to?
Yeah.
What good is? Are they thinking that if they say something to us, we're going to melt down or spill the beans or what?
It's fear.
No, we're going to melt down when we feel we're being kept out of the loop.
Right.
Like, for
because
instance,
it's not, with the track record we have here, it's ridiculous to keep us out of the loop.
With the whole morning thing, they said to us, after leading us on for a year about it.
They did that too.
Which was, okay, you want to use us as leverage against the other guys, to get that, whatever. That's what, once we knew what was happening, we said, let's take our names out of it. You're just using us as pawns anyway.
Sure.
But then they say at the same time, well, you should know that we're not going to move you out of afternoons because you make up 45% of the station's revenue.
Soon to be more.
Yeah, well, okay. There you go, being funny again.
Sorry.
I only bring that figure up because this is the part.
Stop it.
This is the part that just grinds at me. When I read this thing in the newspaper today, and it's about how the junkies are taking over the morning, and that Howard is 20-something% of the income of the radio station, and they say that is the highest producing time slot of the day, and it's the most important time slot of the day. And generally speaking, in most radio stations, it is.
It is.
Here it's not. Paul Farhi, the guy who wrote that story, you should check your research and find out that on WJFK FM, for the last 10-plus years, hell, since day one when we worked here, the mornings has always been the number 2 biller on the station.
Always. I mean, forever.
So, yes, we're glad the junkies got the job. We wish that the idiots at the station would tell us so we could help announce it and let people know the station's not going to be falling to pieces when Stern gets fired or quits or whatever happens in 2 weeks.
The fact that they are not bringing in, well, but we don't know. Because, if I talk about it, it sounds like I know what's going on.
We don't.
We really don't know. But if the circumstance is that you've got the show that you're putting in the mornings, you're putting the junkies on in the morning, which matches up well with this show, that is a good thing. And also that it's based here in Washington, D.C., that is a good thing, too. But we don't know. And if we knew, we could talk about it.
Here's why we get paranoid. That they'll throw around stuff and they'll write in the newspaper that Howard's show is 25% of the income of the radio station. Why is it such a secret that our show almost doubles his show in revenue? Why is that a secret?
We can only think one thing, and we're starting to think it more and more. And the fact is that they're not interested in having us around. I mean, there's only one conclusion to draw, because we don't get communication from these people. And if that's the case, I have one thing to say to management at this radio station. Sweet. Sweet a-holes. Sweet. And really, and maybe one other word.
Yes?
Please. Okay?
Okay. All right, enough of that. Does everybody follow where we're coming from? For a change, we're not bitching about ourselves. We're actually talking about, and it's a concept that they just don't get.
Right.
That if this station, WJFK, is going to be a success, you got to have a good morning show, you got to have a good afternoon show, or if you're going to put the crap in around this, that's okay. But if you made a decision, and we know that you've made it, and you made it, and everybody knows it, and it's in the freaking newspaper, how about let's talk about it?
Yeah.
How about let's talk about it? And second, Hughes, how about you do what you told me, which is that you would tell the industry, finally, that on this station, WJFK, you've got a unique situation where you've got your big revenue-generating show in the afternoon, not in the morning. Why is it such a freaking secret?
Yeah, it's really unacceptable. It is really unacceptable, and it's frustrating.
And now, like I said, we're not looking for money. We're not looking for a new job. We're not looking for an attaboy. We'd like to know, like, if it's going to be in the newspaper, something that we've known for a long time, here's all we're asking for. A phone call saying, hey, guys, good news. It's not David Lee Roth. I know you guys were concerned that it was going to be some hack show coming in that we're going to get on the satellite. The good news, instead, what do we hear? No comment.
Really, those That's what's said to our producer.
No comment.
No comment.
Why tell us?
Like we're reporters.
Why tell and why tell us? Because according to what you've told us and what I've seen, we're only the biggest revenue producers on the station, and we're only concerned about how the radio station is going to be over the next couple of years.
We could help.
Yeah, hard to believe. Yeah. We could help.
Look, I don't think they buy that.
I think you're right.
I don't think they buy that. I don't think they know us well enough. There hasn't been communication with this management team while we've been here. I think they perceive us like some people that may come into the sales department would perceive us that have just gotten here, because they don't take the time to really understand what we do, which to me is amazing. You know, I mean, that's all I can draw. That's the only conclusion I can draw from this.
And really, I think Mike said it, but if you don't want us around, don't dig us around. It's called buyout. Right. I mean, if you don't want us around, buy us out. We'll go work across the street. We're happy working here, but here's all that we demand that we work here. If you're going to change the lineup, just tell us. We're not saying that we have to have input. We're not saying that we have to have thumbs up or thumbs down.
No, and the fact of the matter is, even if it had been one of the, piped in, we wouldn't have been that happy about it. We wouldn't think it was a good decision, but we would have gone along with whatever they wanted to do. We would have done that. Where the frustration comes in is being out of the loop. And the fact is that of the alternatives, we're on board with the alternative that they're putting in there. If it is going to be the Junkies, we're fine with that. Let us know.
You've known it's the Junkies. I know it's the Junkies.
But I don't.
This is what's insulting, though. We've known it.
Yeah.
Everybody's known it. It's in the newspaper. So when it's in the newspaper and we call to say that's great. And keep in mind,
do you know how many people
we're being supportive of the situation? Like, we're all for that. That's great. Well, officially no comment.
No comment. Do you know how many people ask us on a daily basis?
Yeah.
What's going on here? And we can't say anything to people because we don't know?
No, we really don't.
And we're not lying when we say that. We've had that situation plenty of times. Really have no idea when we knew.
I know. Here's all I know for sure. That the Junkies will be on in the morning. That Bill O'Reilly, they are not firing him, despite all the talk that they've given us the last year. And they'll say he's pulling some ratings. Then we're going to have us. And then there's going to be another goddamn right-wing talk guy on after us at night. And then there's going to be Loveline.
And I got news for you.
Loveline.
If it's in the paper and it's boys, it's time to start hyping it. It's time to start promoting what you're going to do with this radio station. And by silence to us, we can only assume that they are not, that we're not involved in this radio station anymore.
And you and I both know what it really is. They don't want to pay us. We got a pretty sweet deal, and I don't think they want to pay us.
Well, they have to pay us.
Well, I know they do, but they don't want to.
Well, F them.
I agree, but that's what I think it's about. I think regardless of the amount of money that we make for the station and how good our ratings are, they'd be happy. Listen, they would have been happy as hell, seriously, if I would have come in after Frida and said, I can't do it anymore. You know why? They'd say, oh, wow, look at all those zeros we can take off the bottom line.
Save some dough.
Who cares what the show is earning? Let's look at that. Boy, look how much money we could save today because this guy's wife passed away.
Well, and if they're that short-sighted with it, then that's fine, because that's the way.
Hey, I told you.
They seem to be doing everything.
I told you, things happen for a reason. I didn't make that up. I saw Bennett Zero at the airport a couple of weeks ago when I was there with Bart. Coincidence?
It would be.
I think not. He's a guy that works for the other station who, on more than one occasion, has said that he would like for Mike and I to work there. And listen, boy, did I screw Bennett Zero in that last contract negotiation. I had told him, I promise you, me and Mike are coming to work there for you. And then we signed the deal with Infinity.
Still, he seems to have forgiven you.
Of course. You know why? He'd like to have a bunch of zeros after his profit margin. He sure would. He would tell us they're going to hire the Junkies and hire Bill O'Reilly on DC 101. What an effed up lineup.
Oh, my God.
And somebody, Junks, if you're listening, we're behind you. But don't trust these efforts. Right now, they might be treating you great. Just watch it. Remember, you can't spell zeros. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
You're smart.
Thank you.
You can't spell zeros as in, money that you're going to earn without zero. No, actually, you can, because it's Z-I-E-R, and it's Z-E-R-O.
Well, the I is also the apostrophe and zero.
And it's silent.
Okay. Anyway,
that's our comment about what is now, I can only describe as the silent treatment. No comment.
No comment. Let's keep it all under wraps.
No comment.
And then you wonder why, they wanted, because they care so much about me, the grieving widower, that they wanted to give me some time off at the end of this week, at the beginning of next week, when incidentally,
that's sincere.
Looks like it slipped out in the newspaper. And
is that when you're breaking it out?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be good to get rid of those guys while we announce it? Why is that? Why is that? And Hughes, do me a favor. Don't email me tonight. Don't call me tonight. I got a football game to watch. You want to talk to me and Mike? You know where our office is. We'll see you tomorrow. And do me a favor. Be a man. Don't just stick your head by the door and go, hey, how's it going, guys? And run away.
Yeah, take a seat.
Why don't you come on in?
Take a seat.
Take a seat.
Because I'm sure as hell confused.
Softy.
I am truly, truly confused.
You limpy, rippy, dippy. You know what I'm saying? You fagula.
Fagolini.
Fagolini. Fagatoli. The Fagatola Khomeini. It's not the Ayatollah Khomeini, it's the Fagatola Khomeini.
Fagatola Khomeini.
Jesus Christ. You're the worst dictator that we've ever had running this station. I swear to God.
That's saying something.
Alan Linewan was a much better dictator than you.
Yeah, I would really, it's getting exasperating. It's getting exhausting. Fagatha Christie.
Oh, God.
That was funny. It was.
I hope you're happy, Hughes. You see what you've done? You know what that is? That's acid reflux. Mm-hmm. You know what that is?
I loved him in Harry Potter, though, in the role of Fagrid.
That's you, Hughes. Okay, we've not got to the Dennis tapes yet today.
Hello, Don and Mike.
Hi, Dennis. It's Tom and Dennis, and I guess we'll start that in a second. Christ, what time is it?
It's late.
Jesus.
Cut it out. That's right. Good. Better?
I had the grandkids in this weekend.
Yes.
And Rob's kids came over.
Not a lot of sleep.
Well, you did it.
Now, hey, come on. Come on. Hey.
Yes.
Good cop, bad cop. Sorry. That's the hand you drew, partner.
Hey, wear a smile today.
We will be right back.
This is the Don and Mike Show. WURP Braddock. WURP Braddock. Pittsburgh's new talk radio station is 1550 The Edge. Is the Don and Mike Show.
Would you say that these look like the breasts of a 43-year-old woman?
Hi, Beth Ann.
No, they don't, Miss Wiss. They're quite impressive. Bordering on spectacular. We have to be running along now.
What's your hurry, Sergeant? Wouldn't you like to have an early lunch?
The Don and Mike Show.
Your round trip ticket to happiness. Don and Mike.
Speaking of Beth Ann McBride, as long as you just put everything on the table.
Yes.
I misspoke when I said I asked her to call Hughes. And she just came up to me in the hallway. And is she like got a rash on her neck? Why is she wearing like an Annie Hall scarf every day now?
Well, let's ask her.
You think so?
You think somebody's hitting her around?
The old one.
Oh, somebody's strangling?
The old what for? Anyway, she stops me on the hall and she says, he's just going to think I'm a puppet for you. You didn't ask me to do that. I did that. Mm-hmm. I said, well, I know. I just like turning things around on the air to make it sound like I orchestrate everything. So, for the record, if he's out there listening, Hughes, that was Beth Ann. I didn't ask her to call.
So, but she did. Nothing changes the fact that she got the no comment.
Still, it was no comment.
Right.
And also, I believe a bad idea for me to ask Joe about feedback. Because we were taking a leak, and I said to Joe, God, I hope that last break wasn't perceived as us bitching, that we're trying to just really explain the problems we have with the symptom of corporate America. Everybody gets into it. And I don't know if I feel good about that. And first of all, I shouldn't be bouncing stuff off Joe.
Not on Monday.
No, not Monday. Not MJ, not Monday, Joe. Yeah. But
you hit him on Friday. No, you hit him on Thursday.
No.
What was
Wednesday,
his best day? Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday for Joe is like Friday for everybody else.
That's lucid day.
Wednesday is the new Friday.
You don't even want to ask him then, though. I mean, really.
But I mean, if
of the 5,
that's
Friday,
his best day.
Friday is his weakest day. Wednesday is his strongest day. Monday is his sleepiest day.
Well, today he's already brought us that about corporate America. He's seen a rat and apparently had another ghost experience this weekend.
What? A lot for
Joe.
He did. Yeah.
Wow.
But hold on, because now we'll get off on a tangent here. And I wanted to say something rather important about Hughes.
I'm not kidding you this time. It's very scary.
That I think, and hold on, yes. Michael Hughes on his tricycle.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why we feel the way we do. One of the reasons that we feel the way that we do about like them keeping us in the dark and I don't want to do anything that's going to blow anything that's been said in confidence between Hughes and myself. Mm-hmm. Here's a good example, though. About a month ago, the guy wrote me a very beautiful, eloquent letter, handwritten letter about how much our show means to the company and to the station. Mm-hmm. And he got me a really wonderful gift. Mm-hmm. To kind of say how much
he cared.
Yeah, but it's all done under the context of you can't tell anybody this.
Right.
Like it's going to hurt the other disc jockey's feelings, or someone's going to get, everybody knows that you kiss everybody's ass in this business. But my question is, if we are thought of so highly, to the point that you would write me such a wonderful, and it really was, even though he's a creep, a pussy of a man, it was a very nice letter. And it was a wonderful gift. But on the bottom, it's, of course, for your eyes only, confidential, not on air, no mention on air, don't tell anybody, don't show this to anybody, don't tell anybody.
And you wonder, when we go through things like this, then all of a sudden you wonder, well, why is that? What is the deal?
I can only.
This is a public forum. We want support from management to be public. We want to know that.
That'd be nice.
And if we don't have it, then we don't have it.
Michael Hughes, really, seriously, if you do consider me to be the Michael Vick of your radio station, which is, the gift had something to do with Michael Vick,
right?
And a nice note from him, indicate, what's the problem with owning up to that? What's the problem with saying, and I'm not only speaking for myself, but for Mike and Buzz and everybody else, what's wrong with standing up and saying, these guys have a hell of a show? We're glad to have them. They're 45% of the revenue. The station would be off the map without them. Why is everything, even when it's something like that?
Is the fear paralyzing people here?
Mm-hmm. I think so. That's my theory.
I felt that for a very long time.
This company has dozens of lovely wives. We are the ugly mistress. Mm-hmm. We're the guma. We're the one you come over when you want to slip a fast one on a Saturday night and you want to just roll out and not say anything.
I like that.
Right?
I like that a lot. We're the Gumar.
Told you we could help.
I went through this with, this is real life. I went through this with Amy this weekend when they were in my cave where I have this Michael Vick thing that the manager got me. And they said, oh, that's really great. They said, how'd you get that? Do you know Michael Vick? I said, no, it's a thing. And then I got into it with him, and I realized how idiotic it was. I said, well, the guy, kind of says, because I like football, that I'm important to the station, Mike's important, and that, the Atlanta Falcons really can't win without Michael Vick. So it was like his nice way of telling me that I'm important, and he got me a nice gift and a nice note, and I showed Amy and Josh the note, and they noticed on the bottom it said, for your eyes only. No mention.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like walking up to somebody and saying, God, you know what? You are just if I came into Mike and said, Mike, and this is the truth, you are the funniest man I've ever met in radio. I'm never going to say it on the air.
Exactly.
I'm never going to say it in front of anybody.
They need to understand it's a public business.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Votes of confidence have to be done publicly in this business.
And I'm not looking for it. He came to me with it. That's why we got to wonder. It's like, why would you even single somebody out, write them a very nice heartfelt note, and now it's not like I was going to run up and down the aisles of the radio station going, I got a note from Hughes. Right. I got a note from Hughes.
That wouldn't happen.
But still, it's presented under the context of, you guys are great. You're my Michael Vick, but shh. Don't tell anybody else.
Not a word.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody that I wrote you a note. Don't tell anybody about how good you guys do. That's why we are paranoid the way that we are.
Yeah.
And it needs to be changed.
It's strange.
It needs to be changed, or there will be some problems here. And I don't like problems.
Or I'll give you the really. Or there will be a very nice Michael Vick item on eBay very soon.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I'll put it up on eBay.
Give Rob a cut. That'll sell it. He knows how to write those flowery things.
Should get a good price.
All right, real good.
And maybe I'll put the letter up as well.
That makes it authentic.
The letter, not the letter from Michael Vick, of which I don't have. The letter from Michael Hughes.
Sure.
Saying how great our show is. But don't tell anybody.
It's enough to drive you nuts.
But keep it a secret.
If we weren't able to come in here and have the fun time that we do, and we do, and I tell you, it's the salvation to 20 years of working in this business, because anybody asked me, said, how do you like doing it? I said, I love it. I love coming in from 3 to 7. There is nothing better. It is the greatest job in the world. It truly is. I know you've said that a million times.
Yes.
I don't say it enough.
Beats working.
It is fantastic. To laugh, and I think back to last week, and to laugh, and I cut out early, and to hear you guys busting my balls, and still be able to laugh after 20 years at that happening. And then somebody says, well, you still like? I said, I like the on-air part. I said, but everything behind the scenes is crap. And it always has been.
Hey, Rob, did I ever tell you that Mike really is the funniest guy I've ever worked with? Don't tell him.
I won't. Quiet.
Shut up.
Your mic is on.
Quiet.
Quiet.
Not a word, my sweet.
It sucks. And you get this thing, and it must be 10 times harder for you. Because, it's just, he says that to you, and come on.
I'm breaking his cardinal rule, but at this point, who gives a frig, right? What am I doing, lying about this? Did you or did you not get me the gift? And it's not that it's a gift, but did you or did you not give me a note? And did you or did you not?
Well, he's also said things
implicitly say, don't say anything on the air about this.
Yeah.
And everybody's the same way here. Okay. Come on, figure out what you're going to do. Make a fist.
You think the junkies are threatened? Ooh, you think they're going to be threatened because you gave me a Michael Vick thing?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I would think not.
What have you given them?
I would think not.
I would certainly hope that he doesn't play it the other way, and that he's not
that's not smart.
And that he's not like getting Eli Manning merchandise and giving them an Eli Manning helmet.
Maybe it's good you mentioned this.
You guys are my Eli Manning. But don't tell anybody.
And you can't play that game.
Don't tell anybody.
You can't play that game.
Don't tell nobody.
Well, he gave me a beautiful 14-karat gold no comment.
Some bling-bling?
Yeah, some lovely bling.
Some bling-bling. All right. The Dennis tapes,
Hello, Dynamite. This is Army Captain Dennis Murphy.
They're like 20 minutes long. Can we please wait until tomorrow?
Let's wait till tomorrow.
Hear the tapes of Dennis and Tom at the all-black wedding. I don't know if you got a chance to watch. A couple of things I want to mention, then we'll go to Buzz. Over the weekend, I was watching CNN.
Okay.
And I was looking for hurricane coverage.
Right.
And I saw what for me is a sign, really, of the apocalypse. Larry King was not there.
All right.
No.
And as you know, Mike, Bob Costas signed on to be the guest host of Larry King.
One of the better moves CNN's ever done.
Bob Costas quit because he didn't want to do stories like about the girl that's missing in Aruba.
Yeah, so they screwed it up.
You know who they had on over the weekend for Larry?
Somebody good.
And now I'm reading on CNN.com that they're going to groom him as the successor.
Right.
Exciting.
Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
And
of course.
And
that's
I
the
saw
answer.
And that's a man. More power to Bob Costas.
Anyway,
unbelievable.
They sure do tell Ryan Seacrest they like him a lot. Of course, he's a lot better looking than you or me, and he does a much better radio show than you or me. Ryan
Thank
Seacrest.
goodness he finally got a lucky break.
Yeah.
Ryan
It's about
Seacrest. The time has come.
Anyway,
karma, I guess.
He was on, and he sucked. And
no.
Yeah, so I go to CNN. Hi, BA. Hey. I go to CNN.com, and they got a little thing like, did you like Ryan Seacrest on Larry King? Click here. And then if you read the story, it goes on to say, they're considering him, like as Larry King's regular fill-in.
Good for them.
Beth Ann, something else I noticed today. Tomorrow, God, I know tomorrow we're going to be jam-packed. Would you see if Penn Jillette would like to come on the show?
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Because David Copperfield, who I think we talked about this last week, he's got a magic trick where he's going to knock up a girl, but he's not going to have sex with her. Okay?
Yeah, I've heard about this.
So, let me see.
It's the amazing turkey baster trick.
Of course.
Katie Holmes is victim.
Here we go. David Copperfield doesn't like Penn and Teller, and they don't like him.
Right.
So David Copperfield says, I'm going to make a girl pregnant on stage. Naturally, it'll be without sex. Everyone will be happy about it. They talked to Penn Jillette, and he said, the only way David Copperfield can reproduce is with the cheesy magic act. David Copperfield said, Penn invokes my name whenever he needs publicity, which is often. Privately, we're pals. Privately, he treats me like a king. In fact, his nose is blacker than his fingernails from being up my A.
Incidentally, in the world of PR, ladies and gentlemen, if David Copperfield says that means it's not true.
Right.
So he says that his nose is blacker than his fingernails from being up his butt for 20 years. If his reputation were as big as his gut, he wouldn't need to include me in the press release. Then David Copperfield says Penn Jillette's really not a bad guy. So then they go to Penn Jillette, who says...
Kind of the Republicans. I think Penn's Penn is not the Republican. I think Copperfield's the Republican in that relationship.
They go back to Penn Jillette, who we've had on the show a lot of times, is really a great guy. You know that already. And he says he likes to make his babies the old-fashioned way. And he says also he's done it. And then the quote is, effing Copperfield has fathered no children, magical or otherwise. He was engaged for 5 years to Claudia Schiffer, and he insisted in a 1994 interview that he's not gay. So then David Copperfield says, I don't want to discuss if I'm gay or not. Penn knows I'm not gay. Penn says... ask him about his magic wand. David Copperfield then says, Penn and Teller are the Beavis and Butthead of magic. Right.
This is a great feud.
Anyway, Penn Jillette, finally they asked him, what about his new trick? And this was the quote from Penn Jillette. I'll tell you, I don't care about his trick. I'll tell you about our new trick. It's throwing a woman into a box and cutting her up. I never grow tired of putting women in boxes. I do it in my private life as well.
Wow.
My man.
Will
you call him?
I already did when you were talking. He's got a book out as well. Can you talk about the book?
Of course.
Sure. Okay, well, his assistant will let me know. He's calling him now, and he's going to call me back.
All right, well, if not tomorrow, the next day. But, I mean, those quotes crack my ass up.
That's so funny. And you know Penn, you just get him started on it. He'll go on for a half an hour.
How about David Copperfield? Penn invokes my name or whatever needs publicity,
right?
Which is often.
Well, what's the whole deal about
his nose is blacker than his fingernails?
That's total fabrication. I mean, Penn's been talking. Penn Jillette has been talking trash about David Copperfield for 20 years.
According to David Copperfield, they're pals. You know what? It's like
that's the first question I would ask Penn. What is this business about your pals out of behind the scenes?
It's got to be like the Michael Hughes thing.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse. Yeah, I'm your buddy, but I'm going to go out and say that I hate you.
It is kind of the G. Gordon Liddy style of rebuttal. You really when you're really cornered, right? You just completely fabricate.
Get macho.
Okay. All right, thank you, B.A. Or just hang up.
Yeah. Good enough.
Tom.
We haven't lost him, have we?
Tommy T was on the phone,
and he didn't wait.
Tommy T wanted to discuss the fact that we've not gotten to the tapes of he and Dennis going to the wedding today. Joe had on the screen that Tom T wanted to debate with Buzz over if we should run the news now or run the tapes of Dennis and Tom.
What a wonderful debate that would have been.
That'd be lovely.
But Double T hung up.
Well, and I have no comment.
Tommy Tart. Oops, you got those? Hold on a second. There you go. It's time for Buzz now.
In a world where owning a radio was strictly forbidden, one man found a way to bring good news to his people.
Buzz.
It's me.
He made it up.
Hey, Mike?
Yes.
Can I tell you something?
What's that?
Buzz, and I am not kidding.
Yeah?
Is really the most talented journalist that I've ever had the pleasure of working with.
Oh, for God's sakes, keep that to yourself.
Okay, can you keep a secret?
Yeah, I can.
Don't tell him.
I won't. Thank you, though, for sharing that with me in private. And too bad Tom dropped off the phone so we could have a... He said,
stay tuned for news and comments coming up on the Don and Mike Show.
Debate. He said, Tart said.
Hello.
Yo, I'm back.
Hi, Tom T.
I'm back, guys.
Tom T. Hall. Buzz, what's your lead? Tom, we'll play your tapes tomorrow.
Okay, Dennis was a do-head yesterday.
He was a do-head.
He was a do-head.
We will want to hear about that
Glad
tomorrow.
to see that Tom is back. Just a little tardy.
Yes.
Watch it.
Fun yesterday, got.
Okay, Tom, we will definitely play all of the tapes tomorrow.
Okay.
You eat a lot of food at the reception, Tom?
No, I did not.
Hey, Tom, do you think Michael Hughes likes us really or not?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Really?
There you have it.
There you go.
Well, that's it. I've got my confirmation.
Thank you, Tom T. Hall. Thank you, Tom.
Hey, Charlie?
No.
No, not here. Not here.
Today.
Not here. He had a big weekend.
Hi, Buzz.
Hi, Donna Mike.
Hi, what's your lead story on the news and comments tonight?
Tonight, they're You okay, Rob?
I just gave Rob the Johnny Dark Page look with my eyes.
I'm pulling your wang!
Yeah, it was like, Charlie had a rough weekend.
Tonight, they're like the Olsen twins, only more Nazi-ish.
Yeah, hey, there you go. Okay, we've already played. We've opened it. We've closed it. That was very
professional.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
And now the Rob Spiewak Singers.
Puberty seemed like the right time to educate the girls before they could have a chance at sex with a black man. The girls do a song called Sacrifice. It's pretty. It's a tribute to Nazi Rudolf Hess.
This is Robert the Mailman.
Hitler's deputy Führer.
Wow.
The song praises Hess as a man of peace who never gave up. They record for Resistance Records, which, by the way, is looking for more up-and-coming neo-Nazi performers. Quoting the head of the record company, Rob Spiewak. Download our music. To me, that's the best propaganda tool for our youth.
God. Wow.
Okay.
Nice job, Rob.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, the leader of the Nevada Aryan Nations has been arrested for indecent exposure.
Hello.
41-year-old Stephen Holton of Sparks, Nevada, who has a history of distributing literature.
Haven't we been to Sparks, Nevada?
Oh, you bet.
I think so.
He was busted after handing out flyers advertising he was looking for sex with men. It seemed less scary than the threatening emails he sent to religious groups and minorities, which is why Holton went to a federal pen.
You really frightened those nice Jews, young man.
Less scary, except Stephen Holton has AIDS.
Oh, dear.
Police say anyone who may have had sexual contact with Stephen Holton should get tested. And if someone's brave enough to tell that to police, then Holton can be charged with a felony.
Now, hold it. Keep your brown shirt on.
He was wearing his Nazi uniform when he was arrested. This could hurt the party's image. That's my thought.
You think?
Now, do you want some guy in Iran deciding what you can and can't find on the Internet? Up until now, the U.S. of A.
Yes, Buzz.
Okay, well, you may get your wish.
What's your next story?
This is it. Up until now...
Oh, do we have to? I've already answered. I'm kidding you, of course.
Oh, well, allow me to explain.
Okay.
You see, up until now, the U.S. of A. has controlled the Internet, and despite some Nazi websites and other abuses, there's a lot of good information and freedom on the web.
Well, you're big in the Nazi news today.
Yeah, we're past
Boy, you
that
just
now.
load up on stories, man. You got like 10 Nazi stories.
Collect them, save them, trade them with your friends.
Amazing.
Welcome to Rob Spiewak Network News.
But really...
Rob is the NNN.
In truth...
The Nazi News Network.
Buzz, if we stay with the news, you're going to tell us how to get one of the belt buckles?
Oh, shut up.
No and no. But really, we've moved on now to the Internet. I mentioned that because that's one of the things you'll find there, of course.
Nazi sites.
Despite bad things on the Internet, there are a lot of good things on the Internet. And,
like
as
what?
I said, a lot of freedom.
Like what?
Information. How to grow tomatoes. Pictures of Amber Lynn. You know, that kind of thing.
Travel.
Yeah. Exactly.
Booking travel.
On the Internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, Tard. That always works.
I did it.
Buzz loves to grow tomatoes.
Did you? Yeah. Hemp tomatoes. Did you really book on the Internet and it worked out okay?
Yeah.
I've done that.
Done it a few times.
Every time I've done that, maybe it's me. Maybe it's my big Fred Flintstone thumbs.
Yeah.
It's always like...
Get screwed up?
I get to the airport and it's like... No reservation for you. And then I call Carol, and she says, that's why you should always use a travel agent. Never book it yourself. You know, I don't know if she's saying that because I'm stupid.
Right.
Or because she doesn't charge me anything for
No, I do it all.
She's a friend.
I do it all the time.
Use that.
I do it all the time. And I use my phone. And it works out quite well.
So the USA has been controlling the Internet, but now other countries like Brazil and Iran want some say over what's out there.
No, they're foreigners.
They think control should be international.
I know what it was. One of the times I was flying up to the Twin Cities that I had booked it online, and then when I got to the airport, they said, "Oh, you booked it online. The flight's overbooked, and for whatever reason, I ended up being on standby, and they were telling me the reason was because I booked it online."
Wow, that's very dangerous.
Well, you just simply go to flyeye.com.
That's when I always have the that's when I have the
Independence Air, the official airline of the Don and Mike show.
That's right.
They are fantastic. My family flew down on them.
Listen, when are they going to put a hub in Minneapolis? Hey, I got 5 people I got to shuttle back and forth constantly.
That would be handy.
From Minneapolis.
Hey, and get cracking on those TVs.
Right.
I mean, really, they got new jets, they got new stuff, they got the little things ready for the TV. Put the TVs in.
We need a hub in Berlin.
München.
And by we, of course, you mean me. Other countries think control of the Internet should be shared by all nations of the world, European nations.
I disagree with that. Let's keep it in America, please.
They've decided they don't like the idea in Europe of just the U.S. running the Internet.
Screw them.
A worldwide meeting about this is set for next month.
Wasn't it invented here?
By Al Gore. Should we fight to keep control of the Internet? A Democrat and 2 Republicans have proposed a bill to keep things as they are.
Brother, what can I do to help you?
Quoting one of them, turning the Internet over to countries with problematic human rights records, muted free speech laws, and questionable taxes will prevent the net from remaining the thriving medium it's become.
Got it.
Yes? What's your solution?
Turn it over to Michael Hughes.
Amen. I'm sorry, I didn't want to say amen. I wanted to say something else. No comment.
A similar bill to fight the changes appeared in the Senate, and the president says he'll sign it. But if we'd rather fight than switch, the web could get messy. A web address that takes you to one site may lead someone in another part of the world to a completely different page if this isn't coordinated somehow.
And you know, when you mentioned the president, for whatever reason, Buzz, it reminded me that I've been TiVoing The West Wing. Yeah. And I know you used to watch it. You don't watch it anymore. Do you still TiVo it?
No, not anymore. Not since Aaron Sorkin.
You should really watch this season. For instance, last night, even though it still is all about Alan Alda versus Jimmy Smits,
right?
There still is a lot of Martin Sheen, and Toby Ziegler got his ass fired.
He's gone. Old happy face.
Fired. Yeah, I mean,
he's out of there.
Yeah, they call him in the office, and Sheen says to him,
"Sheen,
I won't accept your letter of resignation because you're fired."
Wow.
Thank you, Mr. President.
What did he do? I thought he was like Martin Sheen's best buddy of all time.
Well, they had a bunch of Girl Scouts, excuse me, coming through the White House. He did a Mike Buchanan.
Oh dear.
No. That's not true, is it?
Toby Ziegler pulled down his pants and exposed himself to a bunch of Girl Scouts.
That was the plot line?
Yeah.
That's not believable.
No.
Or is it?
He leaked something to the New York Times or something like that. He admitted he did it.
And he was stealing copier paper.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah.
And Buzz, I know you like me think Josh is just dreamy on the West Wing, and he still is a major player on the West Wing.
His stock has risen with Toby out of the equation.
I would think so. President Bush continues to forge ahead. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Oh, President Bush.
Are you ready for some football?
That's the guy.
Yes.
Sure am, duh.
So you put your foot on his neck when we come back?
Sure, if you want me to.
Be right back.
This is the Don and Mike Show. This is the Don and Mike Show.
You know, a lot of shows come out of the gate big, but do you think this will last?
Totally. Everybody's talking about this show. It's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's got buzz and all that, but it's also really good. So when people do show up, they see how great it is.
The Don and Mike Show.
Yeah. They are not going to ruin your goddamn day of joy. The Don and Mike Show.
Some girls.
I was talking earlier about Al Roker taking a header on the Today Show today while he's covering the hurricane. We will have the link of Al Roker falling and slipping, and the guy from the Today Show holding onto his leg. You need to go to DonamikeWebsite.com. Click on links. Okay, it'll publish right after the show is off the air.
Very good.
Now again, here's Buzz. Hi,
Buzz.
Is
that the new jargon that you just learned? It'll publish?
Yeah. I just learned that a moment ago.
That's cool.
Very
It said, when will that be up? We'll publish it as soon as the show is over.
Very cool.
Bingo. Gotcha.
I like it when you use new lingo.
Hi, Don and Mike.
Thanks for outing me on it.
Only when it's really obvious.
Mike, thank you.
President Bush.
We publish in 3 hours.
You see, Mike, they get the download, they get the text of the show.
Right.
They get the pictures.
Right home.
Publish it.
That's right.
7 o'clock. Cool. Perry White publishes it.
Very cool.
The Daily Planet.
I like that.
President Bush continues to forge ahead, even though things have not gone as planned. Iraq.
Well, what can I do to help you?
Katrina, Harriet Myers. Worse yet for Bush, he's about to lose his right-hand man, the architect of his political career, Karl Rove.
No, he's not going to lose me.
Well, Rove, who's described as irreplaceable
Speaking
to Bush.
of right hand,
I'm not a beautiful lady in Chicago.
There's a right-hand man.
Rove may this week face charges of perjury and obstruction of justice. He and the vice president's chief of staff are suspected of blowing the cover of a CIA agent to get political revenge on the agent's husband.
Yeah, if they're going to indict me, I will tell you what I'm going to do. I will use what I've had waiting in the wings for the entire administration.
What's that?
My death ray.
Both Rove and Scooter Libby may be forced to resign.
What about Toby Ziegler? The president fired him last night.
Toby Ziegler can't wash my jock.
Similar problem, but fictional. And all this is happening on the same week that U.S. deaths in Iraq will break the 2,000 mark. Yes.
Excuse me.
What?
One last thing. I know I've mentioned that Janine Garofalo is on the West Wing this year.
Right.
She's the media consultant for Jimmy Smith's campaign.
Right.
I see.
Janine Garofalo has got the Vish unibrow that is out of friggin' control. Last night's episode, she's sitting in the plane, she's talking to Josh, and all I'm thinking is I'm looking at that movie that Selma Hayek made, the movie called Frida.
Frida, that's right.
Where she had the unibrow.
Right?
Yeah, Janine Garofalo definitely has the unibrow.
So she looks like the woman in Dodgeball.
Yes.
I finally logged a little time with it.
Did you see the Hank Azaria part at the very beginning?
No, I didn't see the very beginning
when he's doing the instructor, the tutorial for kids.
Right. No, I did not see that part.
I have a sneaking suspicion that if you gave Janine Garofalo a really good look over, all her hair would connect.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Especially between her belly button and down there.
Yeah, a trail.
That's not a trail.
I can't go on. I'm thinking about that.
That's Yosemite.
A beltway.
In today's New York Daily News, President Bush is described by his own people as moody, sometimes calm and happy, but...
Are you ready for some football?
But more often these days, angry. Quoting a White House source, the president's just...
Get out of here, I'm eating.
Just unhappy in general and casting blame all about. Carl gets his share, even Cheney gets his share. And the press gets a big share.
Of course it does.
The source says the one person Bush does not blame is himself, even though the Harriet Myers thing was all his idea.
Who does this remind you of? By golly, I am not a crook.
And the source says the president's convinced that history will prove him to have been a good president, even if he's already squirreled the Republicans' chances in 06 and 08.
You know, all of these guys, Clinton, all of them, at least the presidents in our lifetime, I wish they would worry more about what they've really done than how history will look at them, and how Doris goddamn Kearns Goodwin, who should just climb into her coffin and stop doing TV reports, how she's always the expert saying, well, Matt and Katie, 30 years from now, Clinton's womanizing will not be an issue.
Right.
30 years from now, George Bush, come on, do something for me today.
Yeah, what have you done for me lately?
There's an idea. A couple of other final quick political notes. Democratic National Chairman Howard Dean over the weekend accused the Bush administration of being the most corrupt since the Harding administration. That's right. He skipped right over Nixon and played the Harding card.
Tanya Harding?
No, President Harding.
Oh.
Warren Harding.
Her dad.
And as you may have heard, former House Leader Tom DeLay, who's really still running things, got a new judge for his money laundering and conspiracy trial. He wanted the original judge replaced because that judge had donated over $6,000 to Democratic candidates. Fun fact to know and share. DeLay's lawyer donated nearly $16,000 to Democratic candidates.
I love DeLay.
Interesting.
I used to have a collection of, like, you have the toy soldiers.
Yeah.
I had the toy presidents. Did you ever see that? They're made out of lead.
Really?
No, seriously, they were like little toys. And my best Christmas was one of the years when I got a Harding.
Oh, DeLay. DeLay, I'm a good ding. You're a man, you get a woman. I'd like to get DeLay tonight. Oh, and Tom DeLay's mugshot, which is on DynamiteWebsite.com. I was reading something today on some blog, somebody's site, where they say it's obvious that Tom DeLay, by looking at the mugshot, he has had work done, that one of his nostrils has been straightened out, that he's had his jaw. You weren't looking at that, were you? What did it say?
It's awfulplasticsurgery.com.
That's it. Thank you,
And it's really a good website to click on once or twice a week, because you'll never know what you'll find.
Cool. Anyway, they've got the smiling Tom DeLay picture there, and they point out, look, something's wrong with this nostril. The chin is not quite right here. That he had his eyes lifted.
He said after he had his eye lift, it was to help with his vision.
Yes.
Oh, so he admits to having it done.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It's a painted-on smile. Halloween's often had a touch of politics to it. The Nixon masks, Bill Clinton and Monica costumes. But the Percy family of Sacramento may have turned up the volume.
Yeah, Sacramento.
They have a fake dead body hanging outside their house. It's an effigy of an American soldier with a sign that says, "Bush lied, I died." We will, by the way, endure our 2000th casualty this week. The effigy has been a topic for talk radio in the Big Sack. TV cameras caught some young vandals tearing it down shortly after it first went up. It's up again now. The Percys have endured death threats, eggs, and paintballs.
Well, listen, how about somebody out there yelling, "Dynamite kick ass!"
Yeah! Be a nicer sign. And an old man who walks by the house regularly says he's for free speech, but quoting him, they've pushed it too far.
I'm pulling your wang!
Bring Johnny the CBS page out there.
When we come back, the Saints go marching out.
Oh, the New Orleans Saints?
That's right.
Right. That's a BS story.
That's sad.
That sucks. Okay, Buzz, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it permanent?
Well, they want, we're going to get into it.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
You know the guy, the dancing guy with the umbrella?
Oh, he's screwing New Orleans now?
The Michael Hughes of the NFL?
Gene Kelly?
Yes. No, not him. Tom Benson. Tom Benson. The dancing guy, yeah. Get this.
Faggot.
He wants to... Me?
Yeah, Mr. Gene Kelly.
He wants to leave New Orleans for San Antonio.
Oh.
That's like leaving Baltimore to move to Birmingham.
Right.
I mean, really.
But only for a year, and then they'll move from there.
That's like...
Oh, like move to another city?
After that, after a year in San Antonio.
He wants to go to Los Angeles eventually.
God, these owners.
That's like living in Dale City and moving to Wheaton. BFD.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
Hey, we know that student loans are a part of your life, but being treated poorly by your current lender doesn't have to be. Not anymore. That's because you now have options, even if you have previously consolidated your student loans. Just call College Loan Corporation at 1-800-2-COLLEGE. College Loan Corporation is one of the nation's leading student loan providers. We will answer your questions and provide you with simple, personalized solutions. And by calling now, you may be eligible for up to a $2,000 cash rebate. That's 1-800-2-COLLEGE. It's the smartest call you can make.
Do you know your credit score? You should, because staying on top of your credit could help save you thousands of dollars. You can now get your credit score and credit report at freecreditreport.com.
I go online and in seconds I get my credit report and credit score free. I can even print it right off my computer.
Staying on top of my credit helped me save a lot of money.
Get your free credit report and score when you sign up for a 30-day credit monitoring trial at freecreditreport.com. That's freecreditreport.com.
To achieve true enlightenment, you must let go of all your earthly desires.
That's a problem. Subway Restaurants has this new fresh toasted chicken Parmesan sandwich. I can't give it up. Take a bite.
There's that old adage about food and enlightenment.
What is it?
A sandwich like a real homemade.
That's deep.
Yes. Everyone wants a new fresh toasted chicken Parmesan sandwich from Subway Restaurants. Tender chicken, melted cheese, zesty marinara sauce, and freshly baked bread. Subway. Eat fresh.
Subway is a registered trademark of Doctors Associates, Inc.
Hello, my name's Smokey, and I'm a hardcore biker. I'm here to tell you... Hold on a sec. Is this the right music, bro? Really? Anyway, Geico covers most kinds of bikes, so you can get money-saving discounts whether you're a casual weekend rider or a hardcore biker like me. See, man, I'm not sure. This music don't make a lick of sense.
For a free rate quote on motorcycle insurance, visit geico.com or call 1-800-44-CYCLE. Geico Motorcycle Insurance. Let's ride.
It's the Don and Mike Show on Pittsburgh's new talk station, The Edge, 1550.
NBC News Radio, I'm Kevin Cork. Starting to survey the damage. Hurricane Wilma tore through southwestern Florida today, landing a powerful punch. At least 3 deaths are blamed on the storm. NBC's Michelle Kaczynski in Fort Lauderdale says the area was hard hit.
We're seeing roofs off of many buildings, chunks of things lying in the street, construction materials, poles. We saw a pile of streetlights on one corner. It's just a mess.
The power is out for about 3 million people. The storm has moved into the Atlantic Ocean. Iraqi officials believe bomb attacks outside a hotel in Baghdad were an attempt to take foreign journalists hostage. At least 20 people outside the complex were killed, no one inside seriously hurt. President Bush has named his top choice to be the nation's new central banker. If confirmed by the Senate, White House economic advisor Ben Bernanke will succeed Alan Greenspan as chairman of the Federal Reserve. Wall Street giving the pick thumbs up, stocks rallying strongly at the closing bell. I'm Kevin Cork, NBC News Radio.
You know, it's amazing how many things you can do online these days. Plastic surgery online is still a few years off, but I bet they're working on it. And what about doing all your car insurance business online? Well, it's already here. At Geico.com, you can do most everything. Change drivers, change cars, change coverage, change your oil. I made that last one up. Geico.com. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I'm a wife, mom, president of the PTA, member of 8 book clubs, lightning fast potato peeler. Oh, and candidate for mayor.
The less laundry you have to do, the more living you can do. Thanks to the newly designed Maytag Neptune high-efficiency washer, which has the largest front-load capacity available, so you can do more loads in less time. And even a king-size comforter. It's only from the most trusted brand in laundry, Maytag. For less laundry, more life. Depend on us.
Data security and speed puts your business ahead of your competition. But cost is important too. You might be paying every month for bandwidth you don't use. Let's talk about your company's disaster recovery system. Is it as effective and secure as it could be? What are you paying for your T1 line? I'll bet we can offer you a better deal. We're ASP Station, a premier independent server co-location facility and high-speed internet access provider. Virtually unlimited bandwidth, co-location for your backup servers, off-site system backup, and secure access to your equipment 24/7. Check us out on the web at aspstation.net or call us at 412-661-6001. Easy number to remember. 412-661-6001. ASP Station, 412-661-6001.
Whether they're your spouse, boyfriend, or girlfriend, or you're looking to turn up the heat on your love life, Sassy Sensations is the place to shop. A gift from the exciting world of Sassy Sensations says so much to the person you're giving it to. You'll find everything, including pleasure toys, lingerie, fun games, edibles, and other erotic items the mall wouldn't think of stocking. Speaking of stockings and the like, whether you're outrageously sexy, a simple romantic at heart, or just have a naughty streak, there are Sassy Sensations surprises that will fit you. Sassy Sensations is completely dedicated to love, romance, and total enjoyment in the bedroom or wherever fun takes you. Pamper yourself, intensify each other's intimate moments, and be free to create your own special passion. Come see me, Vanessa, at Sassy Sensations, Route 88 in Castle Shannon, or click your mouse with sassysensations.com and give us a call at 1-877-467-2779. That's right, 1-877-467-2779. Sassy Sensations, where good boys and girls get even better.
If you can drive a car, you can drive one for someone who can't. If you can pick up a few groceries, you can pick them up for someone who can't. To find out how easy it is to help, call the Points of Light Foundation at 1-800-59-LIGHT. Do something good. Feel something real. A public service message from the Points of Light Foundation and the Ad Council.
Teach your child the responsible use of online resources. Tell them up front what your rules are for Internet use and the consequences of breaking them. Take some time to explore valuable uses of the Internet with your child. This safety tip brought to you by Pennsylvania Learners Online Cyber School. For more information on how your child can attend classes from home at no cost to you, visit www.palearnersonline.net or call the Allegheny Intermediate Unit at 412-394-5700.
In this column, you can see third quarter earnings are up 7% above projected growth. Oh, and as I mentioned to the board of directors, I'm an abusive father. Not only do I physically abuse my 2 young children all the time, I neglect them as well. I often leave them alone for hours at a time without any supervision.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize, perhaps then more people would report it. If you even suspect abuse, call Child Help USA at 1-800-4-A-CHILD. That's 1-800-422-4453. We've helped millions of people help millions of children. And we can help you. All calls are anonymous and confidential. So remember, 1-800-4-A-CHILD. That's 1-800-422-4453. Child Help USA. Trust your instincts. A public service message brought to you by Child Help USA and the Ad Council.
Nursing is an exciting career with many opportunities. Here's what today's nursing professionals are saying.
I think this is a great time to go into the nursing profession.
Nursing offers many opportunities to change and grow.
You can work med-surg,
operating rooms, rehab nursing. That same degree of nursing you can take with you and use it throughout your life.
Feel the rush.
For information on a rewarding career, call 800-377-4502 or visit futuresinnursing.org. Sponsored by FIA and the Pennsylvania Higher Education Foundation.
My dad can throw a baseball 100 million feet. Yeah, well, my dad can throw a football 1,000 bazillion feet. That's twice as far. So, my dad can hold his breath underwater for 5 minutes. That's nothing. My dad can make a 360 two-handed backward slam dunk with his eyes closed. Yeah, well, my dad, he can make quarters come out of his nose. Big deal. My dad can eat a whole jalapeno pepper in one bite. Get out. Yep, that's impossible. He'd explode. Boom!
Kids who spend time with their fathers are less likely to get in trouble or fail in school. Be there for your kids. Give them someone to brag about. Remember, it takes a man to be a dad.
My dad can smash a soda can with his head. No way. I saw him do it. Cool. Then we took him to the hospital.
Call 1-800-790-DADS for more information. A public service message from the National Fatherhood Initiative and the Ad Council.
WURP Braddock. WURP Braddock. Pittsburgh's new talk radio station is 1550 The Edge.
Really, the time has just flown by.
The Don and Mike Show.
They shall make the beast with 2 backs. Don and Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, American Psycho. Isn't that right? Hey, Michael! Wouldn't it be great to go Bateman on him?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think he's got
this new thing has a clear, cool sheen that really makes it a great song.
I think Hughes has a little Bateman in him as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Watch out for that.
Patrick Bateman.
Hi there, Buzz.
Hi, Don and Mike. In sports, the NFL's New Orleans Saints have probably played their last game in New Orleans. Nothing will be decided till the season's over, but key league sources tell ESPN that San Antonio will probably be home to the Saints next year, and then after that, Los Angeles. Officials say New Orleans may once again host a Super Bowl, but probably not for another 10 or 15 years.
My humble opinion, IMHO, as I write constantly on message boards, ROL, ROFL, laugh out loud, roll on the floor funny. Right. The Saints should be allowed to move anywhere they want, but they should grandfather in a deal like they did with Cleveland, where they would say, right now New Orleans is a mess. 3 or 4 years when you get your ass together.
Yeah. Right.
Well, keep the name, keep the Saints name, and give you a team again.
And, regarding the Super Bowl, that's one of, 3 great locations to have the Super Bowl.
It's good we went when
and
we
I
did.
hope it's sooner than that they bring it back to New Orleans.
But I think that they got to get a team down there. I just think it's wrong to take it. Those poor saps have supported that team, which has won stink.
Right.
And they live in one of the crappiest. I mean, the whole city smells like number one, for God's sake.
It does. I mean, and I don't think that's going to get any better now.
You know, so the Saints is one thing they had going for them in New Orleans.
Well, one of the great old teams in the NFL, too.
And besides, maybe one day they wouldn't always be so bad.
No, I mean, and they've had their chances. I mean, they've had their eras where they would get to the playoffs. Yeah. But, I mean, it's unfortunate.
But sad is when you have a town like San Antonio, which wants to be a big league town, and they're even willing to say, you know what, Tom Benson? Go ahead, bend over and use us for a year. Just use us as like a boing, a jumping spot to go from New Orleans to Los Angeles. Because they think that they'll show the league in a year that they can support a team, and then maybe Minnesota or somebody else would move to San Antonio.
But really, they're just being used.
Well, they call it the public trust. That's if they try to strong on those owners, and it doesn't exist. I mean, it really doesn't matter.
In the HFL.
Yeah.
The Hughes Football League.
No comment.
Finally, a word about a football team to inspire us all. The Coral Shores High School team may quit the league after losing all 6 of its games so far this season. The homecoming game's already been postponed. The season score for the Canes, 299-0. Most of the players quit the team after last week's 63-0 loss.
What's up, guys?
And the league's 3 toughest teams still lie ahead on the schedule. The athletic director says he's never heard of this before, but sometimes it's good to know when to quit. I'm Buzz Burbank on the Don and Mike Show.
Sorry, we're out of time. I don't even have a comment about what a good time to quit would be.
Understood.
Except this is a good time to quit our show for today.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll be back tomorrow with a new episode. And la la. That's it. We'll see you. Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you, sir.
No comment.
And you.
You know what I want?
What?
Popcorn ball.
A popcorn ball.
Ah, they're delicious.
A popcorn ball. See ya.
When we meet again, this is Sammy Davis Jr. saying, be kind, be nice, and I hope the next performer has the pleasure of having as nice an audience as you've been tonight. And let me leave you swinging.
This is the Don and Mike Show.